shop with great prices. Christmas Lake Golf Course offers Monday and Tuesday specials along with afternoon and twilight specials too. Call 877-XMIS-GOLF. That's 877-962-7465 option 1. Or go to ChristmasLakeGolfClub.com for more information on the upcoming events at Christmas Lake Golf Course in Santa Claus, Indiana.
Louisville's longest-running pro sports team is back. Louisville Bats Baseball at Louisville Slugger Field. Family-friendly entertainment at budget-friendly prices. See future Cincinnati Reds in action. To plan your day at the ballpark, visit batsbaseball.com.
Check the back seat.
All right, come here.
Check the back seat.
Gets in your head, right? Good. Because every year, dozens of children are forgotten in the backseat of a car by a parent or caregiver. All never thought it could happen to them. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Roosters is the place to watch your favorite teams play. From college to the pros, Roosters has all the games. Plus,
All right. Welcome everybody. It is Wednesday, May 27th. This is the Mike Rutherford Show, presented by United Mechanical and Nexus Plus. We're coming to you live from the world-famous University of Louisville College of Business Studios here in the heart of finally not raining Louisville, Kentucky. Cards fans, you could take accounting to a whole new level with U of L's Masters in Accounting and Analytics. In-depth data analytics courses allow you to achieve a new mastery of accounting in this AACSB accredited program. 11-month competitive internship opportunities and full access, not partial access, not quarter access, full access to the Becker CPA exam review. Prepare to graduate career ready in just 12 months. The first step for you is hopping online and visiting business.louisville.edu today to learn more. We're on the air today from 2:35 until 5:30 here on 1450 AM 96.1 FM, streaming across the land, including on the Big X Sports Radio Louisville YouTube channel, airing live on WBNA Channel 21. You know us better as the Big X. It's Mike Rutherford. It's Matt Childress. We got intern Ian in the house today as well for your Wednesday edition of the show. It's Deadline Wednesday. We've got about 9 hours? I'm not great at math. 9 hours or so before the early entries to the NBA draft have to declare whether or not they're staying in the draft or coming back to play college basketball. There's one player in particular that a lot of local eyes are on. We will talk about that today. Is there maybe some positive motion on that front? I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about it. Maybe you wait around for like 10 more minutes and hear me talk about it. We'll get to that. We've got a potentially earth-shattering bill that could revolutionize college sports if it ever makes it off the Senate floor, which I don't think it will, but we'll talk about that. We have a date for the Louisville-Kentucky men's basketball game, which has effectively disappointed just about every fan on both sides. We'll talk about that. We've got some baseball moving and shaking to talk about. We've got some off-the-field football news to talk about. Nothing crazy, but it's list season. We've got a couple lists to talk about. We'll take texts from you guys on the Gameday Men's Health text line at 502-414-1450. We'll take comments from you guys on the YouTube channel as well. Hop on in there at Big X Sports Radio Louisville. We are live. Just click the live button, make your comments on the right-hand side, and we'll read them. Matt Childress is in the house producing the hell out of the show per usual. Give him a follow on Twitter at @mchildress__. Matt, how are you, buddy? I heard you coughing back there. How we feeling?
Yeah, I'm actually feeling fine.
Okay.
It was one of those moments where I was just sitting here and I guess like my just spit went down my windpipe. I just started choking. I didn't know.
Great start to the show.
Great start.
This is why we're the best.
Just wasn't expecting it, so my mic was on, so I apologize for that. But yeah, I almost died there for 2 seconds, but we're good now. We're good. Had to watch the big beautiful game that I love die last night. I think it's over.
I didn't watch any of the game last night because I was watching the Avalanche also die last night, which was depressing. But every time I picked up my phone, it was just somebody who was like, "This isn't even basketball." Like people were just flipping out, and I just kept thinking, how bad could it possibly be? And then I saw some of the highlights, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's not basketball. That's terrible."
No, it was really bad. I said this last night, and I'll say it again. I'll say it 1,000 times. I would much rather I could stomach watching Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs in every single Super Bowl to the day I die than watch the Thunder play one more quarter of basketball.
Oh, wow.
I can't do it. It's not fun to watch. It's unenjoyable. It's one of those where I try and I'm a person who tries to put myself in that, like the situation of what's going on. If I was playing against the Thunder, I think I'd bring a knife to the arena. Like, I don't think I'd be able to survive what I'm watching. The worst one is, did you see the goaltending call?
I did see the goaltending
call. The non-goaltending call?
Yeah.
So, obviously, if you didn't watch the game, I think it was it Casey Wallace?
Luke Cornett went up for the he tried to Casey Wallace blocked the ball off.
Yes.
Luke Cornett was trying to tip it back in when that happened.
Yeah, so Luke Cornett was trying to tip the ball back in off a miss. The ball is, like, going into the basket. It's easily over the rim to the point where Reggie Miller and Jamal Crawford is like, that's probably the easiest goaltending call I've ever seen. They said he was doing FIBA rules. And Casey Wallace goes up, slaps the ball off the rim. Everybody's confused. And the Spurs head coach, I'm blanking on his name right now.
Nobody remembers the guy's name.
Nobody knows him.
It's the guy who replaced Popovich.
He ain't
That's all
Big
you have
Pop.
to say.
He ain't Big Pop.
But he goes up to the ref, and he's like, that's so obvious. Challenge. Ref doesn't listen to him. He's like, yo, screaming, challenge, challenge. And the dude's like, oh, my bad. And they just start playing. And then they give him a technical foul for yelling at the official.
Mitch Johnson, by the way.
Johnson.
Sounds like the made-up detective that Cartman had back in that South Park.
100%.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing that moment, and if somebody was looking at me, you might have saw the light leave my eyes. Like you might have seen my soul cross to the next plane, because my sport is dead. It's over.
I mean, let me ask you this, because this is the big secondary debate that's come up. You were talking about trying to put yourself in other people's shoes. If you were a Thunder fan, would you be supportive?
Keep doing it.
I mean, that's where I am too. I am a.
If they're gonna let you get away with it, keep doing it.
I can acknowledge when I'm a hypocrite, but I don't care. I just want to watch good basketball. I don't care about either one of these teams. I have a fascination with Wembanyama like everybody else, but I watch this and I'm like, this sucks. Like it's terrible. If that's my team though, it's totally different watching your own team than it is if you're watching as an objective fan or if you have like a, whatever tertiary rooting interest. I would be fully supportive if I'm a Thunder fan. I mean, we had years where people were like, I hate the way that Louisville plays. They're so handsy on defense. They're winning these rock fights out there. And, I mean, that 2012 team that we had, I remember, like, blocking people on Twitter because they were complaining about the Big East Championship game against Cincinnati being a, like, 15-10 game with 3 minutes left in the first half. And, like, I get it, but also my team's winning, so I don't really care. That at the end of the day, that's what I care about more than anything else. So if I'm a Thunder fan, I don't know if I'm going to war over this. I'm acknowledging that this is tough to watch, but I'm not apologizing for it. Like you said, it's within the rules.
Oh, yeah, like, I'm not apologizing for it at all if I'm a fan. We had, so during Runner Rowan, a Kentucky fan who listens to Kentucky Roll Call texted, and it was like, I literally can't support Shea anymore. Like, I can't do it. Like, I try and look at it from the fact of, like, if I'm a casual basketball fan, you know, the guy who tunes in for March Madness every year, the guy who tunes in for the NBA playoffs, the guy, you know, like, the one who's not, they don't really have a team in the fight, they're just following basketball because they like it. I generally wouldn't be able to watch this. Like, I wouldn't be able to sit down and say, wow, Adam Silver, this is the best basketball product we have on the market. I just couldn't do it.
I wonder if UK fans would feel differently because, you know, Shea was a good player while he was there. But it wasn't like he was – I mean, I think this took everybody by surprise, just how good he's been in the NBA. He was not the one UK player that you pointed to during that decade from 2010 through 2020 that you would say he's going to be the best player in the NBA, multi-time MVP. He seemed like he was potentially going to be an NBA player because all Cal did was turn out NBA players. But he was a good, not great player on a, relatively speaking, good, not great UK team, right? Like, you know, that 2018 squad – that was the one they had a wide open run to the title. Didn't they lose to Kansas State, I think?
I believe
it was either the one that lost to Kansas State or the one that lost to Auburn. But they didn't make a Final Four, which at that time was kind of the standard for Calipari at UK. And he was kind of one of the more forgettable one-and-dones if you were in the middle of that era. So I wonder if they would go to bat for, you know, John Wall or Anthony Davis a little bit more. Like, I'm trying to think of what the comparison would be for us. Like, if Donovan Mitchell's doing this, I feel like we're defending him. But maybe if Michael Brown's doing this in a couple of years, we're like, it's hard to defend Michael Brown and what he's doing. I think maybe there's an element of that to this. But, like, yeah, if I'm a UK fan, I'm saying I love the guy. He's really, really good. But some of the stuff is, like, just falling down on every shot he takes is annoying. It's annoying. There's no question about it. We got intern Ian in the house. He's back after his debut last week, which the text line did say they were – I don't know if impressed is the right word. They were very interested in just how ready you were for the moment. Usually you bring an intern on or you bring somebody who's never, and they're like, they're hanging back. Like, you were ready to go. And everybody noted it. They were like, it's intern Ian's time. He knew it. He was ready to step up. He was very chatty.
Up in Western, there's a broadcasting show that we do called Extra Point. So it's like a student-run show that we all run. You can actually watch it on YouTube during the fall and spring semester if you guys ever want to watch that.
I mean, shameless plugging.
I'll be on there.
First sentence, he's already shameless plugging again. This guy, you're a pro. You know what you're doing.
I know my stuff a little bit because I had some help from a great guy named Cole McIntyre. He works up in Fox 19 now. Got signed up there. He's a great guy. But Extra Point's been probably why I'm like so kind of experienced at doing this a little bit because it's taught me a lot of stuff on how to like work the business a little bit and how to like just talk on air and talk on radio and stuff like that.
There you go. So you weren't intimidated. Most people, you put a mic in front of them and they like freak out. I mean, even I did Wave 3 listens last week for the dance competition, and the other people that are there, like they're all like well-to-do professionals, and they've done stuff, and like these people are terrified. Like 2 people wouldn't go on TV at the last second because they got too scared. But it's a good skill to get that knocked out right out of the way. That you're not going. I think once you start talking, you realize you're just talking.
And on the Extra Point, I was on we had a debate show, so I would debate with other guys, and basically I would go crazy. I'm probably the funniest guy that you would see on the Extra Point, other than another guy I know named Gus Warren. He used to go to.
Shout out to Gus Warren.
Shout out to Gus Warren, great guy. I think he's up in WBKO or something like that up there in Bowling Green area. Great guy, love him. But yeah, he's probably the funniest guy I saw on that debate show. It was called Delay a Game.
You guys were just like Jordan or LeBron. Let's go.
That's what we did. We actually did that one time. I think it was one of my buddies, Orion, and against another senior named Alec Fouch.
Okay.
I'm picturing this as, you guys know that meme of like the 3 kids with the podcast sitting on the couch on YouTube?
Yes.
It's nothing like that.
Snack Boys?
Yes.
It's like in an actual studio. Like,
Well, that's good.
It's like it looks like an actual sports center. If you ever take a look at it, it's like we got past streams. It's on extra. It's a WKU Extra Point. That's the YouTube channel.
WKU's got a great journalism program.
They do.
They always have. Broadcast and journalism is very strong over there. A lot of people that get into local TV and newspaper back in the day came out of WKU. So you're in the right spot. You're in the right spot.
I'm glad I picked it too. Great
We're
spot.
happy to have you back here on this. Interneen's going to be with us on Wednesdays throughout the summer. Like I said, we've got lots to get to. Last night, I mean, the Avalanche, the dream died. I didn't think in a million years they would get swept. Broke my heart to watch them go out the way that they did. They finished with, I think, the 8th most points in the modern era of the NHL in the regular season. Won 8 of their first 9 playoff games. Had, I think, the best living hockey player in the world in Nathan MacKinnon. And not only do they not win the series against Vegas, they get swept by a team that had like 39 wins in the regular season and fired their head coach right before the playoffs. Beyond devastating, sucks, hated to see it last night. They played like absolute dogs. Just everyone besides Mackenzie Blackwood stood on his head, kept them in the game. It was just, it was embarrassing. It was disappointing. But, Matt, you know who's red hot? Cincinnati Reds. So we're right back. Cubs fan Brian, not texting in. You know why? Because you lost 10 in a row, and now all of a sudden you're looking back up at the Reds again. Oh, how quickly Pete Crow Armstrong tells one White Sox fan to bleep his bleep, and all of a sudden, Cubs are losing 10 in a row. It's funny how that works out. Reds going for the sweep of the Mets tonight. We're feeling pretty good. We're back, baby.
Well, we know they're going to lose tonight, so they just can't.
They don't handle getaway days great. Okay, but the Mets are also dogs, and we kind of own the Mets. They let us into the playoffs last year. I feel like we've got the emotional edge over them for that. We've got mind control over them. We're feeling pretty good at this point. I'm also now starting to – I'm at the point where I'm such a tortured Reds fan. I'm like, Chase Burns is amazing. When are they going to start having to limit his innings? Like you know, I'm already thinking, like, can he pitch a full season? What are we doing here? Skeens couldn't even get a full season. But this kid is absolutely unbelievable. We haven't had back-to-back wins as stress-free as that in, like, 15 years. Get out to a big early lead. Pitching's great. Just kind of cruise to a victory. It was incredible. It felt very, very good to watch that again last night.
Life of playing the Mets.
It's the life of, I mean, if we could just play everybody besides teams from the NL Central every single night, we would be great. Now we got to get Andrew Abbott back going tonight. We haven't won like a Lodolo's win on Monday was the first, I think, like non-Burns Abbott start that the Reds have won in like 5 weeks or something ridiculous.
That's not a good
It was
stat.
crazy, but, you know, those two guys, very good. Now Lodolo's looking okay. Let's dive into the news of the day. We'll start with this. I know everyone wants to hear the updates on the transfer portal front. I'm kind of hoping to get a couple more texts here before we start talking about this because, I mean, Matt, the phones are burning here. And I don't know if it means anything whatsoever. I'm always honest with you guys when I can be. But I'm getting a lot of people are doing the wink, wink, nudge, nudge thing. And I don't know how I feel about it, where they're like, I don't know, something may be brewing. And every time this happens to me, I'm like, okay, well, something may not be. I've been doing this for a long time now, and a lot of times you get everyone's hearing the same sort of thing, and it winds up being totally bunk. But the fact that there is at least a little bit of smoke right now, as we are approaching the NBA draft withdrawal deadline, makes me excited. But I don't know if I've got justification to be.
Is there a specific time today they have to announce that?
Midnight.
Okay, midnight.
11:59.
Okay.
11:59 is the official deadline. So we've already had a couple of stay or go decisions. I think most of them are pretty straightforward. And I think that people are like, well, is there anybody besides Momcilovic that we need to be paying attention to? And my answer is no.
Gabe Dines?
Gabe Dines is still on the clock as far as I know. I don't think he's
ain't leaving.
He has not made the official announcement.
There's no way.
He is still technically on the NBA's stay-go decision list because he has not officially declared one way or the other. But like I said, it would be a shock if Gabe Dines stayed in the draft. And also it would be, people would kind of be like, oh, well, that's a shame. And we would sort of move on. But it's all eyes on Milan Momcilovic right now for both Louisville and Kentucky fans. I mean, that's the first thing. Is I think we've got to see whether or not he's actually staying in the draft. This has been sort of a 50-50 deal for a long time. As far as his intent is, his headspace, I mean, he's been 99% I'm staying in the draft this entire time. And unfortunately for him, he did not show out at the combine or in some of these individual workouts the way that he would have liked to. He was hoping for a first-round guarantee. If he didn't get that, he was hoping for a guaranteed money guarantee. It sounds like he didn't get that. A lot of mock drafts had him going from early second round to mid to late second round. Some have him not being drafted at all. There is growing belief, certainly over the last few hours, that step one in this whole process is leaning towards him announcing tonight that he's coming back to school. I don't, like I said yesterday, and things can change in an hour. I don't think that his announcement is going to be a dual announcement where it's, I'm coming back to college and I'm going to Louisville, or I'm coming back to college and I'm going to Kentucky. I think it'll be a step-by-step type deal where he first announces, I'm taking my name out of the NBA draft, I'm in the transfer portal, and then he goes and talks to some schools individually. I know he's already had Zoom calls with Kentucky, and I think Louisville's had a Zoom meeting with him as well. I think that face-to-face meetings are probably in the works, maybe happening right now with multiple schools. We'll see. But I do think this will be sort of a process. And it sounds, although I can't say anything definitively, it sounds like he is leaning towards coming back to school at this point. But there have been cases over the last 5 years where a guy has been leaning towards coming back to school, leaning back towards coming back to school, and then at that 11th hour, just something hits him and he's staying in the draft. That has happened multiple times, I can tell you, and you never know until it's official. So we'll keep eyes and ears on that front. I've got a couple other things to say on that we can get to after the first break. But the biggest piece of news here locally today is that we have an official date for the Battle of the Bluegrass game between the Louisville and Kentucky men's basketball teams. This was, I think, first announced by the Lexington Herald-Leader. UK has the home rights. They get to kind of play the lead on the game time when they're hosting at Rupp Arena. And we're moving back to December, but we're not going to the typical spot between Christmas and New Year's. It'll be Saturday, December 12th. We don't know the time. We don't officially know the television coverage details. Those will be announced at a later date. But this is, I think last year being so early has sort of taken some of the shock value off of just how early this game is. It's still the second earliest these two teams will have played over the past 25 years. The earliest, of course, being last season when we met on November 11th. But to me, this is the perfect time on the calendar to be completely forgotten about because nobody cares about it. December's the worst month for college basketball. Everybody's focused on football. You'll have, this will be the week after the conference championship games. Everybody will be talking about the first round of the playoffs in the CFP. You'll have, I guess Army-Navy will be being played on CBS. You'll have early bowl games being right around the corner. You'll have NFL games with high playoff implications taking place. You're not going to be – people forget that big-time college basketball games happen in December. And whether you liked or hated playing so early last year, there's no question that the game got more national attention being played in week 2 than it had in a lot of years where the teams were even better, but they were playing between Christmas and New Year's. At the end of the day, it's whatever because Louisville and Kentucky fans are going to get up for this game. We talk about it 365 days a year. If they played on Halloween, we would be okay with it. If we played on St. Patrick's Day, we would be okay with it. I always tell people, if your contention, if your mindset is, I don't care what the rest of the country thinks, this rivalry is for us, then yeah, it's fine being played in December. If you're going to complain, though, that everyone pays attention to Duke and North Carolina and nobody talks about Louisville and Kentucky enough, you've got to be supportive of a change in the date because December is the 1 month out of the year every single year that people just do not lock into college basketball. College basketball does a great job at hitting the ground running in November. They do a great job at Feast Week. They do a great job, obviously, when the calendar flips and you've got high-level conference play. And then they really lock in February and March once the Super Bowl ends. And the NCAA tournament is the next big thing up. But December, a lot of times the students are already home for Christmas break. Nobody wants to schedule big games because, well, it used to be because they had exams, but now it's kind of like if there are big games, they're being played on neutral floors. It's just sort of that 1 month where people are like, all right, we can kind of check out. But that's the game, that's the date where we're going to be playing. Matt, I'll give you first crack here. December 12th, it is a Saturday. We're moving closer back to the traditional date. Your thoughts on the Battle of the Bluegrass and where it's going to be played this year?
This reeks of Mark Pope is terrified to lose on national TV.
You think?
I actually hate it. I can't stand it. not even including the whole, like, Louisville benefited from playing the game early this past year. I loved the early date because, one, during that week, I mean, we were one of the most talked about games in the country.
We were.
I love, playing on the national stage. The fans show out for it. It's exciting to be on national television, especially when you have one of the, early on in the season when you're one of those teams that people are like, this team is Final Four caliber. Everybody's talking about you. And then, people around the country understand that Louisville, Kentucky is a big rivalry, but it is kind of watered down because we usually play in a time that people aren't watching, during that December era. So I'm not a fan of it. I'd rather play on national TV, win or lose. So it's a little cowardice in my opinion.
Incernian, December 12th. Like it, hate it, don't care.
To be honest, I don't think I care. I've always, no matter what day it is, what time it is, I'm always gonna be watching that game. If I'm in my dorm, I'm gonna watch it. Like last year, when I was fall semester, I was watching the game. I was so loud that I literally had 5 noise complaints.
There you go.
In my dorms.
That's the way to do it.
That loud in the games. It doesn't matter for
You
what
should
time.
have been at Chili's that night.
Maybe I should have been at Chili's, but guess what? They don't have one up there.
Matt was at Chili's.
That Chili's was gone.
Matt,
they had up there.
Matt, do you and the fan have to go back to Chili's this year for the game?
Oh, 1,000%.
Okay.
1,000%.
If you want to get, I hope this becomes a thing where Rutherford Show people just start showing up at this Chili's every year, and 40 years from now, this Chili's, which has become some sort of renewed mall, whatever the 2080 equivalent of malls is just sold out every year because people want to watch the legendary Matt Childress family game.
I'll call it there a week in advance and be like, yeah, party of 50 for the Rutherford show.
We're selling the place out. Let's go to break. When we come back, we'll talk more about the big decision from Milan Momcilovic. A little bit of buzz out there. We can allude to some things, and then some other thoughts on the Senate bill that's coming out. The Mike Rutherford Show. For your Wednesday?
Love me some Hinder.
I was about to say, Matt, you strike me as a Hinder guy. I don't know if they had any other songs besides this one, but I can see like little Matt Childress just rocking out.
When I say I love me some Hinder, I mean I do love this song.
There was a radio conversation back when I was doing the show with John, like 7 or 8 years ago, and someone was like, "What's the worst song that you could hear played in the middle of an NBA game that you would do if you had control just to be as funny as possible?" And I chose this song. Like like Shay's just like slowly dribbling the ball up, and like crowds like cheering, and it's not defense, it's "My girl's in the next room."
He's flailing his arms. He's going down with a knee injury.
It would be incredible. I would laugh, and that's all that I care about at the end of the day is keeping myself entertained. I think that would be great.
I think a great song for me would probably be "Thinking Out Loud" by Ed Sheeran. When you say
Thinking out loud.
or the one where you're like, when your legs don't work like they used to before, when somebody breaks their leg or something like that.
Well, that would be terrible. Man. That's
the worst song you play. That's
little
what I'm
too
saying.
far
I'm
there.
just imagining like Kevin Ware goes down and silent in the
Oh
arena.
my God, man, we didn't have to go
And then
there.
the dude's just like, I got a really funny joke.
That was in my
30
head when I
minutes
was
into the
saying
show,
that, but I
guys.
did not want to say that, man. Too far, man.
We all were thinking it.
There's never too far right
I guess, but
We come closer than we should on this show. That's maybe. I mean, we just took the vibes down.
It's come on.
Kevin Ware,
It was
man.
13 years ago.
It was funny.
13
when,
years still.
See, it was funny when we were talking about Hinder, and then you guys just go in there and start talking about legs breaking and music playing, and it brought the mood down. Now people are upset.
So you're
telling me
talking
when-
about Kevin Ware. That's Matt's fault.
So you're telling me when you get on stage to go, you do your dance and someone goes break a leg, you're just like shivering?
No one's. First of all, no one's going to say that. It's for acting. It's not for dancing.
Oh, okay. I mean, same thing.
No, grow up. Learn the arts, Matt. Just
Sound like Timothy Chalamet. Over
yeah. I mean, I would love to be Timothy Chalamet. Are you kidding me? Timothy Chalamet's living the life.
He really is.
Godfrey. I mean, he's dating Kylie Jenner.
Yep.
Gets to watch his team go to the finals. He's basically on the team at this point.
I mean, I did one of those two last
And
year.
he was on the College Game Day show, something that's my dream.
And doing well. I mean, I think
Yeah, great takes.
acquitting
He knew
himself
well.
well. He was he did that crazy guest rap verse for that English rapper that everyone thought was secretly him,
that one. I forgot
which
about
was
that.
very cool.
It was pretty sweet.
I mean, he's living the life. I'm all in on Timmy C. He needs my support.
He's like I was talking to somebody about this the other day. He is genuinely like the first true like movie star
We had this discussion on the show
of this
okay,
of our generation.
a year ago. Because we were talking about like, are there any actual movie stars from like Gen Z or whatever? And a couple people like tried to throw out some other names, and I was like, if you have to like look up what they were in, I don't feel like they qualify. But Zendaya, people were talking about her.
I hate Zendaya.
I mean,
she's not worth all that hype.
She's
Not
like
for everybody.
She's like
Okay.
getting there. She's been in a lot of stuff, and like, but I don't think
Should never
she's
been MJ.
I don't think she's there yet.
Awful casting.
See, it's not.
She didn't have the emotion. She was so bland.
People say Tom Hardy is the other kind of
Tom
player.
Hardy.
No.
You mean Tom Holland?
No, I think Tom Hardy. People were
Is
talking
it Holland? We're
Big
talking about
dude.
Spider-Man, right?
They're,
the big
both.
dude?
Yeah, they're different people.
Hardy, I don't even think he's Gen Z. He's a bit of an older guy.
He may be more millennial.
I think he is. Holland's more of a Gen Z now, but Hardy, no, I don't think he's Gen Z.
The only
Just
one-
because of been in movies.
The only one that I feel like, besides Timothy Chalamet, is a legit is Glenn Powell. I feel like he is at least on the trajectory.
Can't remember.
See, I think that he's closer to like a Pedro Pascal, where he was just like really popular for a little bit. So he was in everything.
I remember Glenn Powell.
My wife is texting. She already hates interning. She just said, "How could anyone hate Zendaya?" with like a million question marks.
Sorry.
you're already on Mary Rutherford's bad side.
Zendaya is not on my good list.
Not a good place.
She
to
on
be.
like my bottom 5 right now.
If I had to pick somebody other than Timothy
Sorry, Mr.
Chalamet
Rutherford.
right now, I'd say it's like the closest to him is probably getting to like Robert Pattinson.
I can see that. Although he's like closer to my age too. I feel like he's
true.
like mid-30s, right?
I think so, yeah.
And what has he done besides Twilight?
Well, he was just in.
He's
the
40!
He's the Batman.
He was the Batman.
Yeah, I mean,
He was a really good Batman too, though.
He was in.
we're moving on. You guys are derailing the show too much. I don't know how this happened. It's 3:05 now. People are like, please God, stop with this. Let's talk a little bit more, real quickly, because I know everyone, all that anybody cares about right now. We've got apparently our show yesterday made it onto the Kentucky message boards, is what I'm told, and Kentucky fans are very excited that I'm saying the same exact thing that I've been saying for 3 weeks, which is what I have been told by the people that have been right every step of the way during the last couple of months is Louisville's taken a swing with Milan Momcilovic. They feel like they've got a shot, but that the shot is sort of a long shot. This was as of yesterday, like early yesterday. That was still the party line. And, I think the long shot was twofold. One, they knew that he was really, really focused and dedicated towards staying in the NBA draft. And then two, they have money left over. Obviously, we were going to pay John Blackwell, Juke Harris, the players that we were going after, 7 figures if we had landed them. So we've got that money still laying around. I don't think we gave it to Ian Ellis to reclassify. They've got money. They don't have what Kentucky has at this moment. They don't. And I think that that's pretty straightforward. We shelled out top dollar for a number of high-profile players early on in the portal process. They have swung and missed on a number of high-profile portal players. Now they've got Malachi Moreno back in the fold. He's going to be paid handsomely. But they've got more money in their war chest than we do at this point. If it comes down to straight dollars and cents, Milan Momcilovic will go to Kentucky. That has been said for a month now. And I don't think anything has changed. The big change that I've heard over the last 48 hours is St. John's, and this doesn't make sense to me, but St. John's feels like they don't have much of a shot. And I don't know why. I feel like they need a big-time scorer to fill out that roster. They've got Mike Rapoli up there, who has reportedly said time and time again, hey, Rick, if you need anybody, if you need anything, like, you'll never go wanting. I'm a billionaire. I want to see St. John's win a national title. I want to see St. John's go to a Final Four. I will hook you up. I always kind of thought that if this were a situation where Louisville comes in and says, hey, we can give you $4.5 million, and Momcilovic is torn between St. John's and Louisville because he's weirded out by Mark Pope or whatever, St. John's can just say, hey, Rapoli, we need $6 million, and they'll give it to Momcilovic. Apparently that's not the case. The Arizona stuff, you're hearing different things from different people. I know that Jeff Goodman reported yesterday that Arizona's in the mix. I think that there was some pushback on that. Goodman has doubled down on that and said that his source is with Arizona. It makes sense from just a logical thought perspective. Koa Pete, I believe, will announce at some point today that he's going to stay in the NBA draft. That frees up some money that they were hoping to be able to use on him coming back. And they need a guy like Momcilovic to fill out that roster and have a good shot at making it back to a Final Four and potentially winning a national title. So I can't give you anything definitive on the Arizona front. It certainly sounds like St. John's is a fading horse down the stretch in this race. So that and Iowa State is reportedly at least attempting to make a pitch for him to come back. So I think this comes down to Louisville, Kentucky, Iowa State, and then I don't really know what to think about Arizona and their mix here. There is, for whatever reason, over the last few hours, people who are insiders or insider-ish or who know kind of insiders who are wink, wink, nudge, nudge, hang on, all of that sort of vague where I'm can you just give me something definitive? The people that have not led me astray have not said anything about this. So I'm not willing to go out there and say, hey, we've got more of a shot. I am choosing to hang on to the perspective of I'll believe that this is a long shot for Louisville until I'm told definitively otherwise. Do I think there's a shot? Sure. Things are crazy. Things can flip on a dime. Everything is fluid. It's the same thing that I've been saying for the past year. I don't know exactly what's made people feel so confident in the most recent couple of hours, but I would be obtuse to not at least acknowledge that and say, there's people out there who are thinking that we've got more of a shot than maybe we thought we did it 24 hours ago. Maybe in 2 hours I got something else to report, but cross your fingers, hang out, hold on for hope. I am trying not to get my hopes up, but if you give me a crumb, I'm going to immediately envision a full steak dinner. That's just the way that I think we're all wired. So we will we'll hopefully hang on. I mean, Matt, what's your hope level at this point? Are you trying like me to keep any and all hope pushed down?
So I actually talked about this on the upper deck yesterday.
Oh boy.
About I feel like I'm currently at the point of the UL roster where if we get them, I'm going to be jumping up and down, screaming, crying. I'm so happy. But if we don't, it's I think this roster is good enough. I think I'll still, be excited for the season coming forward. I think that he fills in two of the holes that you really need in terms of a scorer and, that lethal outside shooter. But it's not one where I'm going to be like, not to quote Mark Pope, but rolling up in my bed and, hoping bad things happen. But I think I'm okay right now. I'd love to get him. I want to ask you, actually, because I saw this yesterday. Do you think the Dan Furman tweet last night was a little him aura farming, or do you think that there was something behind that?
I think it was more aura farming, because I had the same question for somebody else today, and they were like, I don't think it was a scheduled, planned, whatever tweet, but they're kind of like Dan kind of does his own thing, so I couldn't tell you definitively. I don't know. It was definitely interesting, though, the fact that it was sent the way that it was sent at the time it was sent. And he's like on the cell phone, and it's like time meets preparation, like all that stuff. And it's like, ooh, what's going on then? What are we talking? I think we're all looking for signs. This is the classic, the player who posts on Instagram, like his Instagram story, like, can't believe it, man. And like everyone's like, oh my God, he's off the team. And then it turns out he's got like a slightly lower grade than expected on like an online class discussion. And that's it. But like, we don't know. Like we take everything that's out there and try to run with it. When sometimes it's legit and sometimes it's just, no, this is a weird thing that just happened to coincide. So we'll keep you updated if we hear anything. But, I know other people had questions about could Louisville get involved with Yesufu if he stays in college, which I don't think he's going to, but I'm not 100% there. I'm told it's sort of Momcilovic is the only one that they feel like they've got a real chance with. But, as always, we'll see. We've got now this to talk about. There is a proposed bill to try and save college sports. It's a Ted Cruz and what's the first name of the other? I know it's Cantwell, but I don't have this pulled up. Twitter's doing this weird thing where it doesn't save likes anymore, and it's driving me absolutely crazy. I can't find the stuff that I had bookmarked to talk about during today's show, but there is the Senate bill co-sponsored Democrat Cantwell, Republican Cruz. They have come together to try to fix college sports, to try to save college sports. Not the first time that something like this has happened. Maria Cantwell, thank you, is the other senator. They are, if you're looking for the too long didn't read summary, and I didn't read it, I'm still trying to piece all this together because I can't figure out exactly what I think about all of this. We're going to have Mark Spiegel, who started the 502 Circle, was the first head of the 502 Circle. He's going to come on the show tomorrow at 3 o'clock. He couldn't do it today. He had some obligations. But he is not thrilled with this piece of legislation, and I think he wants to kind of eviscerate it. I feel like I don't know quite enough about it. I haven't read through the 111 pages yet. But what it's saying, this is what they're proposing. One-time transfer. You don't have to sit out, but you can only transfer one time. The 5-year eligibility deal, is they're going for that as well. You've got 5 years to play 5 seasons out of high school. No full-on red shirts, no 7th year for medical injury. You got 5 years. They're also trying to ban players who have played professionally anywhere, which would be an interesting thing in college basketball for next season because we've got a ton of players that have come from overseas that have multiple years of eligibility. Obviously, it would affect a couple of players on our team. It would affect a couple of players that played on our team last year. But they want no pro players in college basketball. They want a hard-line salary cap, or if you want to call it that, it's not a salary cap. But everybody knew that $20.5 million that schools were allotted to use to pay athletes was going to be just the surface, and that's exactly what's happened. The NCAA lost in court. These collectives are out there raising money. It's technically for NIL, but let's be real, it's pay to play. They want a 5% maximum fee for agents. You've got a lot of agents out there that are running wild. You have a lot of agents out there that don't know what they're doing and are charging 20%, which is ridiculous. They want a so-called Lane Kiffin rule, which means coaches cannot leave before the end of a season. I think there are issues there. They want an optional pooling of TV rights. They're going to try to prohibit a super league. Basically, if this were to pass, it would prohibit any chance of the Big Ten and the SEC breaking away, forming their own league, and doing their own thing, which the SEC has been talking about more and more and more. One of the craziest things about this is they want to pool all the television rights together, and in order for that to pass, they need 75% of the schools to vote yes. And someone did the math for me, because, again, we don't do math on this show. If every school in the SEC and the Big Ten voted no, but every school besides those in the Big Ten and the SEC voted yes, it would hit the 75% threshold, and it would pass, which would mean no more crazy billion-dollar deals benefiting the Big Ten and the SEC. Everyone would get a similar share of the pie. They also want to preserve historic rivalries, which sounds great on the surface for sure. They want to there are a lot of things here that I think people would love to see. I don't think that even the biggest SEC and Big Ten hawks want to see a Super League. I don't think that anybody wants to see guys playing 5 seasons at 5 different schools. I think people want to see the transfer portal rules. This would protect Olympic sports. It would create more scholarship opportunities. It is an ambitious piece of legislation. They are trying to tackle all of the biggest topics that are hindering college sports in a lot of people's eyes at exactly the same time. I don't know if that's going to work, because I think you're going to see a lot of people say, hey, yeah, this is great, but this isn't going to work. And I think the compensation cap is the one thing that I can point to and say, how are you going to go about enforcing this? A set cap sounds great. I think we all are like, yes, everyone should have the same maximum amount of money to spend on players. How are you going to enforce this? 10 years ago, you weren't supposed to be paying players anything. We always suspected, and now we found out beyond the shadow of any doubt, that certain schools were absolutely paying players. How are you going to keep those bad actors from doing the exact same thing under the new laws, under the new rules? I'll believe it when I see it, and I think a lot of people are going to take the same mindset. I don't think that at the end of the day this is going to pass. Matt, do you think it should pass? Would you like to see these changes go into effect?
I don't think I would mind it. I guess it would be like a start. You know what I mean? Like, it's not perfect, but at the end of the day, I guess something is better than nothing, I guess, is the very broad opinion I can have on this. It's like going, we're in the Wild West right now, and this is like westward expansion. Like, I don't know. Like I said, I'm kind of just at something's better than nothing, so I'm taking anything at this moment.
Yeah, I mean, the big question for anything like this is, do you think it's going to make college sports better? And I think some of the changes would. I think this would require NIL deals to be disclosed, which I think is, like, that should be a pretty straightforward thing, right? Like, if someone is being paid however many thousands of dollars by a corporation or a local company or anybody, we should know exactly who's doing the paying and what it's for. Because right now, what's happening across the country, and it's happening with the local programs, it's happening with every major program, is you've got wealthy donors, wealthy business owners, wealthy whatever, who are going to U of L and saying, hey, I got $50K, put it towards a football player, put it towards a basketball player, put it towards whatever. There is no what this was supposed to be when it was all said and done, where, I mean, remember how we all sounded so naive 4 years ago when we were like, they're going to get to make money off their jerseys. Yeah, they're making like $100 off their jerseys. That was never going to sustain people. And now we've got average basketball players like Sananda Fru going out there and making $3.5 million. Just straight pay for play.
We had like 3 players all sponsored by like Royals Chicken for the first.
Remember that was the first thing?
Yeah.
Like Sam Williamson was like, hey guys, go eat Royals Chicken. We're like, this is how it's gonna be.
This sport is dead.
Yeah, people were like, I can't believe it.
We got ads for the players now.
Now I can yell horrible things to this guy because he got $500 from Royals Hot Chicken to do a quick ad. He's rolling it out there. You fast forward, it's like Case and Pryor's got 17 cats in his Lambo for playing 2.3 minutes a game. It's like, maybe this wasn't what we had intended. But I think that would make things better. But Bud Elliott, who I used to work with at SB Nation, who does a great job covering college football, he sort of encompassed my feelings on this. The bill is trying to do 5 legally aggressive things at the same time. Federal wage cap, good luck. Antitrust immunity, good luck. Private delegation, state preemption, and targeting specific conferences by names. Doing just one of those things is super difficult. All 5 together is litigation that's going to be challenged immediately on multiple fronts. The people who are going to make money off this bill are the attorneys more than anybody else. This thing will be, legalese into the ground. There will be, I would love to see, first of all, I'm impressed that we even got this far where you had two people on different sides of the aisle actually put together this piece of legislation. I would love to see it be a little bit more focused and then say, hey, if we can do this, let's move on and tackle, state preemption. Let's move on at this point, because I feel like when you have 110 pages and it's so ambitious and it's so broad, it really opens the door for people to say, well, I like A, B, and C, but D is a complete non-starter for me. There's no way I can sign on to this if this is the way that this one specific issue is going to be. I'd love to see it boil down, because at least somebody's trying, right? At least people are out there trying to do something, trying to fix some of the problems that college sports have. But the one perhaps unintended consequence of all of this is, if this were to go into effect, we would essentially be handing all of the power that we had taken away from the NCAA back to the NCAA. It would not be a good move for we need to get the banner back folks. The NCAA would be back in control. They would be the ones responsible for enforcing all of this stuff. And we all kind of had issues with the way that was going before this huge sweeping change went into effect 5 years ago. Would you sign up, Internian? Would you sign up for the NCAA having the same level of power that it did, say, 10 years ago?
Well, if they can give us back the banner, maybe. But
we're not getting the banner back if they have all the power back. Yeah,
I don't
not
even
for
know.
a while.
I don't know. But what they got to do with that legislation, I think they should probably separate into multiple parts instead of making it one big bill. So we can actually have people sign on to some stuff, have some stuff get passed that will actually be better for the sport, instead of this having all these get put in and then these decline all of it. So
Agreed.
It needs to be separated, I think. Or maybe the bill can get revised a little bit to make it more likable to some other people, so it can actually get signed through and passed.
I think the most interesting part of this is the opportunity for schools to collectively pool their media rights. And like I said, there are 138 FBS schools now. 75% of them have to sign off on this. So again, even if the Big Ten and the SEC don't sign off on it and the rest of the FBS does, we're going to have a pool of media rights, which would be crazy. And a lot of people are like, well, this would force the SEC and the Big Ten's hand. They would break away at that point. They'd form the super conference. And I think a lot of people will be like, all right, try. See what happens. I don't know. Everyone is so terrified of the Big Ten and the SEC. And I'm kind of sick of it. Like that Iowa State athletic director who stepped up and was like, do it. It does feel like this, this is right up intern Ian's alley. It does feel like in college where you've got those guys that are always just talking like they want to fight. And at a certain point, they've been doing the looking tough, standing with all their friends type deal for a while. And at some point, you're like, all right, do something. Do something or shut up. We've got to go. Yeah. I'll never forget being in the UK student section wearing a Gapatino shirt for the football game. One of the dumbest things I've ever done, but I was 21. We all do dumb stuff. And I had a couple of other Louisville friends, and we had these Kentucky fans behind us who were like, I'm going to throw you 8 rows down there. And finally, one of my friends, who's thankfully much bigger than I am, just turned around and was like, shut the bleep up or do it. It's time. And they left. I kind of feel like we need to call, I say we as everybody outside of the SEC and the Big Ten's orbit, need to sort of call them on their bluff. You want to go away and have a 40-team league that crowns its own national champion? Do it. See how much it works.
It'd be like the UFL. It's just going to get collapsed, and they're going to come.
Hey.
They're going to put their tail behind their legs and go right back
UFL
into
radio
LA.
station here.
This is the home of the 3-man front, 5:30 to 6:30, talking all things Louisville Kings. The only local show dedicated.
This is the home of the Louisville Kings right here.
USFL then. We'll go the USFL.
There you go. Much better.
It'll be like the USFL. They'll put their little tail between their legs, and it'll go right back to the NCAA. It'll last like 2 years.
Now,
if they did that.
The last thing on this, so the Senate's not currently in session, so there's going to be no vote on this until I think next week, and you've got summer recess that's coming up in August. You've got the midterms right around the corner. The odds of any legislation moving forward after the recess in August are very slim. They're kind of working against a deadline at this point. This is the classic, what is Congress doing? What's Senate doing? I have very little faith that all of these issues that I think people are going to have with certain aspects of this bill are going to get solved before we get to August. So anybody who's hoping that this is going to go into effect before the 26-27 athletic season, I think your faith is probably misplaced. But like I said, I do think there are things that would be massive steps in the right direction. I think people are on board with the 5 years to play 5. I think people would be on board with the one-time transfer rule. I think people obviously would be on board with coaches can't leave in the middle of seasons, the Lane Kiffin rule. But there are other elements where it's like you're saying something very straightforward and simple that I don't think possibly covers the entire issue. And the most obvious example is the salary cap. Like, we're going to create a salary cap. Okay, what's the cap? How are you going to enforce it? What are you going to do when people violate that? There are way too many questions, I think, for everybody to be on the same page over all 110 pages over the next couple of months. But maybe they'll surprise us. Let's take a break when we come back. It's your hour of the show. Hit us up on the Gameday Mens Health text line 502-414-1450. We'll read your thoughts after the break. Keep it locked right here. It's the Rutherford Show, 1450-96.1 Big X. Hour number 2 here, Wednesday edition of the Mike Rutherford Show, 1450, 96.1, Big X Sports Radio. Over the last 30 minutes, we've had the announcements of several game times for the first couple weeks of the college football season. ESPN's put out its full schedule. Now, there's only, I think, two games, I should say, that are directly impacted here. We knew that Louisville and Ole Miss were going to be playing at 7:30 in the Liberty Mutual Music City Kickoff Classic, which the dumbest thing that college football does every year is they don't take full advantage of Labor Day weekend when the NFL's not playing. It's the only Monday you don't get Monday Night Football to compete with. It's the only Sunday where there's no NFL to compete with. And you would think everybody's desperate, everybody's foaming at the mouth for football. We've been waiting for 9 months for the season to return, and then they give us nothing on Sunday until the night, and they give us nothing on Monday until the night. Well, this year they're like, all right, here's what we're going to do. We've got 2 big games on that Labor Day weekend Sunday. 2. Everyone's like, all right, well, it's a little bit better. Oh, no. But here's what we're going to do about that. Let's play them both at the same time. How about that? So we've got Louisville Ole Miss going down at 7:30 on that Sunday, and then at the same time, we've got the Ohio State Texas game going on at the exact same time. No, take it back. Not the Ohio State Texas game. That's the next week. We've got Notre Dame Wisconsin going on at the exact same time.
That doesn't sound as enticing. You kind
I'd rather be competing with Notre Dame Wisconsin.
You edge me there though.
Than Ohio State Texas.
We will compete over that one, but it would have been so enticing to watch both games at the same time.
But how stupid is it? Like, play one game at 3:30. Let us watch both. Like, we don't. I don't want to. I don't want people flipping back and forth between Louisville and Ole Miss and Wisconsin Notre Dame, unless of course we're losing, which hopefully does not happen.
Well.
And then Monday, just one game: SMU Florida State, 7:30 ESPN. ACC taking center stage. That's just seems ridiculous, but what are you going to do?
Worst pick for Florida State.
The other games that the ESPN has officially announced, our game against Florida State, by the way, Week 6, that'll be Friday, October 9th at 7 o'clock on ESPN. Ooh. So we don't get the late Friday night kickoff. We get the a little bit earlier kickoff because they've got a doubleheader. They'll also have Iowa State versus BYU. That'll be a 10:30 kickoff on ESPN. The Friday night game in Week 2 for us against Villanova will be a 7 o'clock kickoff on the ACC network. I think that had previously been announced. And then our game against SMU, Saturday, September 19th, will be, this is a home game, so plan your schedules accordingly. That will be a 3:30 kickoff, middle of the afternoon, and it will be either on ESPN or ESPN2. They'll see how we play at the beginning of the season. They'll see how SMU plays at the beginning of the season, and they'll schedule it accordingly. But that's some center stage stuff. I'm good with it. In case you're wondering, some of the other big kickoff times that were announced today for the first couple of weeks. The August 29th, the big Week 0 game is North Carolina versus TCU in Dublin. Bill Belichick dancing jigs over there at Aviva Stadium. That'll be a noon kickoff on ESPN. That same day, an ACC Classic that I don't think counts as an ACC game. At least it didn't last year. I don't know if they're doing that again this year. NC State versus Virginia in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. 3:30 kickoff on ESPN. I'm very curious to see the crowd for that one. We've got September 3rd, 8 o'clock on ESPN, another ACC game. Colorado at Georgia Tech. September 5th, 3:30 ABC. Baylor versus Auburn. Could not care less about that. Yeah. And then I guess the big game for that opening weekend, that opening Saturday, is going to be Clemson at LSU, the Battle of Death Valley, the Battle of the Tigers. 7:30 kickoff on ABC. The first look that we'll all get at Lane Kiffin in Baton Rouge. See how that goes. If you're looking at Week 2, we know when Alabama and Kentucky will now kick things off. They will have center stage. They've got a bright spotlight on this game. 3:30 on ABC. So if Nick Roush is right, a lot of people are going to watch the Cats take down the Tide.
I cannot stress enough that this is on a game of top 5 of games I've never won in Kentucky to lose more.
They're getting.
I like that idea.
Roush is tripled down. By the way, he's no longer just doing the braggadocious fan for no apparent reason, just talking crazy. He's breaking down all of the Alabama's record away from home under Kalen DeBoer. They've got a likely redshirt freshman starting quarterback. They can't run the football. We're going to be great at stopping the run this coming season. I'm like, he's going all in on this. He's making
We haven't
this
even
his
started
thing.
spring training.
It's May 27th. He is planting his flag on the belief that Kentucky is going to upset Alabama in week 2.
I love Nick. He's hilarious. He's a great dude. But I mean, like I said, if it comes down to it in week 2, they just get battered by like 30 on their home field. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna text Nick Roush myself, be like, "How do we feel now?"
It reminds me a little bit of, so the summer of 2018, we were opening that year. It was the year after Lamar had graduated. People thought we were going to take a big step back. Guess what? We did. We took an even bigger step back than we thought.
It was really bad.
We went 2-10. But we were playing Alabama in Orlando to kick off the season. The entire summer, I was doing just straight troll work because I understandably thought we were going to get smacked. We did. But so I kept going back to the fact that we had played them one time in our existence. It was the Fiesta Bowl in 1991, and we won that game by a lot. And so I just kept tweeting. People who think Alabama is going to win this game easily, they keep forgetting Louisville's never lost to Alabama, and we've won those games by an average of, I think, like whatever the Fiesta Bowl final score was, like 36-6, by an average of 30 points per game. And they got so pissed off about it. They would be like, "You realize it's only one game?" And I was like, where was I wrong, though? What am I saying that's factually incorrect? And then we had one of our Twitter users, he used to be able to buy targeted ads that only played in a specific part of the country. And he bought a targeted ad in Birmingham, Alabama, that was just saying, people need to recognize that Louisville has never lost to Alabama, and they've won those games by a combined 30 points per game. And, like, all these Alabama fans were like, "Why is this on my timeline? I'm furious about this." And we just kept hyping it up, and they kept getting more and more upset about it. And then, of course, they beat us down. That was also the game where we went to Orlando. We did a show at the Hard Rock Cafe, and there was a table of Alabama fans in there, and I kept referring to them as the reigning co-champions because the year before UCF had gone undefeated and had claimed that they were national. And so I kept saying, like, reigning co-national champions, Alabama, and they got up and left the show. They were like, I thought it was a funny joke. They got so mad about it, they got up and just left. They ended up getting their revenge. They beat us by 1,000,000 points, and we lost. I feel like Roush is putting himself up for a similar fate, but he's like, I was making jokes. He's outright predicting that Kentucky's going to win. I think he is. He's saying they're going to win this game.
God, I really hope he's trolling because he doesn't really know how good this Will Stein team is yet. So he's really just throwing it up there. See how it goes.
3:30 on ABC.
That's just Nick Roush.
That's what Roush does.
That's Roush does?
Yeah.
I guess I'll learn how Roach works in the next few months.
Yeah, and then that night will be Ohio State at Texas, the big game, 7:30 on ABC. The next week, the big games on ABC, Georgia at Arkansas at noon, and then LSU at Ole Miss. That's the money game. You've got Lane Kiffin versus his old team, going back to the Grove, going back to Oxford. They may try to kill him. I don't know what's going to happen down there, but that'll be a 7:30 kickoff under the lights on ABC. I don't care if both those teams are like 0-3 going into that. I guess they would have only played 2 games. That's appointment television. We all will have to watch that game. I can't wait to see LSU at Ole Miss, but we're starting to find out the 2026 season is forming a little bit here. We're starting to find more and more details about how it's going to look at the beginning. Cannot wait. Thankfully, it's just 4 mere months away. We're right there. Season's basically here.
I can't wait.
Let's go to the Gameday Men's Health text line. 502-414-1450 is the number there. Reminder, Gameday Men's Health, redefining men's wellness. No shortcuts, just results. Testosterone, weight loss, sexual performance therapy, and more. If you have health needs, visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com today to find out what they can do for you. I just saw the text that you were referring to, Matt, where he goes, "You can see all my texts. I'm the biggest UK fan possible. I say this to say that I hate Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and everything about the Thunder. I'm done watching the series. My eyes can't handle it." Well done. Well done. Text, "Hey, Mike. I thought I would bring up the Save College Sports Act and how potentially explosive one of the provisions to college sports is if it's voted through. In the act, if 75% of FBS teams vote to pool their TV revenue into one deal, then teams in conferences like the SEC and Big Ten would potentially lose their huge revenue advantage. There's 138 FBS teams. We've covered this. And the SEC and Big Ten only have combined 34 schools. Very, very interesting if this gets voted into law. It will be. It's why I think you're going to have – I mean, we know how much support the SEC has financially. the Big Ten institutions are proud and have large alumni bases. I can't imagine that some of them don't try to hit up their favorite politician and say, look, this can't happen. We can't have, we just signed a $1 billion TV deal with ESPN, or we just signed a $1 billion TV deal with Fox. We cannot go back to playing on level playing field. Because people always talk about, well, where's the money? Is it just because Indiana's winning national titles in football and the SEC is all these ticket sales? It's the TV deals. That's where all of the big money advantages come from. And the deals that they've signed, especially when you juxtapose them with the ACC's deal, which is not lucrative and lasts until 2036, the Big Ten will renegotiate again before the ACC gets to go to the bargaining table with ESPN or whoever to try to enhance their own TV rights. That's the biggest advantage that they have. That's where all that extra money is coming from. If you level that playing field, then all of a sudden, the trump card that the Big Ten and the SEC have for having more money than God and the ability to break away and, hey, don't scare us, we'll leave, it goes away. They're not going to let that happen. Ohio guy texted in. He said, with KS Bar closing its doors, what does the future hold for Bar Chronicle?
KS Bar's closing?
I did not know this.
That can't be true.
I mean, I knew they took like a little break during their downtime.
Well, I thought they were like renovating or something.
Yeah. The first thing that I see when I type in KS Bar is our guy Chris Hatfield, who tweeted out, crazy that the Vince Marrow departure from Kentucky single-handedly made KS Bar go out of business. I see Matt Jones tweet.
6 hours ago, KS Bar and Grill closing his full-time sports bar after 8 years.
Some sad news for me today. KS Bar as a daily sports bar is ending after Railbird. You can read more, but I'm disappointed for the end of an amazing era and experience that we had. Thank you to all who worked with us and supported us for years. Bar Chronicle's still going strong. We're not folding.
It says that this place is still staying open as a Kentucky game day bar. It's just not like a full-time bar that's going to be open.
How does that work?
So, like, I guess it's literally only going to be open for game days.
That's not.
I feel like that's not a sustainable business model.
Yeah,
I feel bad for their workers. That would be tough.
They're gonna pay a minimum wage probably. It's $7.30. It's $7.50.
At Bar Chronicle, we're open 24 hours a day, every day. Just stop by. Bar Chronicle, of course, now.
Bar Chronicle, your $75,000 salary minimum.
It's currently my back porch, my back patio. We have a TV there. It's great. Lots of plants. Lots of good times there. Stop by, grab some drinks.
Virginia's acting on stage every night.
We have live performances. John will go around telling poop jokes. This is his comedy act. That's what he's got. It's a great time. Bar Chronicle, check it out. Still open. Dave, teacher from Jeffersonville, says, it's me. I'm back. Finally on summer break with some random thoughts. One, I'm sorry for saying the Kings should fire Chris Redmond. The UFL should let the Kings host a playoff game since nobody else in the league can sell tickets like us besides St. Louis. Two, the original Texas Roadhouse in Clarksville, Indiana is moving. I'm going to cry. Well, that's sad.
What? Why?
What?
I don't know.
Oh, no.
I gotta look this up.
Did you know that this year, Texas Roadhouse, past Outback Steakhouse, is the most popular chain restaurant in America?
Good.
Isn't that crazy? Started right here in
Much as I love me an Aussie cheese fry, Texas Roadhouse is better.
Something about Outback, though. I love their steaks.
3, I've written 30,000 words this month on a new book. Props to you. 4, movie rec. Obsession is the best horror movie of the last few years. Yes, better than Long Legs and Weapons. Go watch it, Matt. Clearly, Dave hadn't been listening to the show because Matt was just, you were oozing
I was
enthusiasm.
glazing it for like 20 minutes the
Just
other day.
glazing all over.
I've been hearing a lot of people talk about it.
Long
yes.
Legs is trash. It sucks.
Never even watched it. I know it was Nicolas Cage's like horror movie, but I never watched it.
It was. That was the original one that started off the whole train that Mike was talking about. Of this is the scariest movie you'll see in your entire life.
one of those things?
That one like sparked it.
Every week, there's a new scariest movie of all time.
But Obsession seems to be really, it seems to be earned because everybody.
so
There's been so many people. I've had so many friends on my Snapchat that's telling me you should go watch Obsession. Like I'm
Probably gonna go see it again tomorrow.
Maybe I'll go see it. Maybe I'll see it maybe next week here.
Have you heard the conspiracy theory about this? About Obsession and the direction of it, Matt?
What?
theory?
Maybe no.
So
no.
yeah, the director is 26 years old, right?
Yeah.
He's this guy that was unheard of, Curry Barker.
Yeah,
is
he was
his
a
name.
YouTuber.
And apparently, the entire movie was shot in 1 month. Is what they're saying.
Oh, I had not seen that.
There have been rumors around Hollywood for a long time that like not Martin Scorsese, Quentin Tarantino, he like hops in and directs movies, like he like ghost directs movies because I guess his 10th movie is going to be his next one, and he's terrified it's going to be a big flop. So there are all these people saying that this kid didn't actually direct this movie.
Oh yeah, I did see.
You know, with how crazy it is, I've seen like some trailers and I've seen some clips. With how crazy it looks, I can believe the theory a little bit.
I've seen this theory. I don't believe it at all. It's a joke. It's a
You never know.
So this dude Curry Barker has been doing. You guys have seen some of his stuff. I'll tell you that right now. He's really famous on YouTube.
What has he made?
He makes like little short films.
I know his face. The one that I've seen is the one where it's like the guys in the hot tub video.
Yes.
Where he's like, "Come on, I guess we have to take all of our clothes off."
Yes.
It says no clothes in the hot tub. Like that's the only thing that I know him from. Every time that video pops up on my algorithm, I laugh pretty hard.
He makes like little funny comedy sketches and stuff, but like his real passion projects, he makes like horror short films, and that's where he got his start. And so this was his first major movie. I have seen that. I don't believe it whatsoever because his horror short films are really good.
It reminds me of the old. There's been a long-standing rumor forever that Harper Lee did not write To Kill a Mockingbird, and that Truman Capote, who she was very good friends with, obviously very successful, really wrote the book, and she kind of lived a lie after that. Big rumor for a long time.
I remember. So I know what you're talking about, and whenever that conspiracy theory came out about Obsession, there almost like sparked a second one from other people in the film community because in the past couple of years, like the Backrooms movie that comes out I think next week is also created by a YouTuber. He's only 18 years old, and he's directing it from A24.
I believe it's a record too. Actually, he's gonna be the youngest filmmaker ever to make a full feature film.
Yep. Hereditary was created by a set of YouTubers as well. And so there's a conspiracy theory that rumor was spread about Curry Barker by like major Universal and all them because
people who are worried that the tide has shifted.
Exactly. They're going to start handing the torch to these younger guys, and they're going to start pushing out the older directors.
I mean,
so like
might be for good reason.
Those rumors being spread because they're trying to say that he actually didn't do it.
Texas Mike, I've been overseas since Derby, and I've not been able to listen to the show since yesterday. Where the hell is Roman? Also, as a sort of lawyer, I'm going to trust your take on the newly introduced college sports reform bill in the Senate. Look, my 1 year of law school does not. Every time that I do end up reading a legal document, I am overwhelmed by the thought of like, this is why I dropped out. I did not want to do this, which was the worst part about all the scandals happening. I dropped out of law school. I'm like, never again. No more briefing. No more reading any of this stuff. And then immediately we get hit with a million indictments, and I'm just rifling through indictments for the next 5 years. Roman and Matt have swapped places.
Roman's dead.
Jesus
R.I.P. that man.
Christ.
Rest in peace, Roman man.
God. The delivery was great. Very straightforward. Roman is
dead.
He's not dead. To quote the famous the original Office.
He's on the greener pastures.
Dead. He's not dead. He and Matt swapped spots because Roman's got some afternoon requirements coming up this year. He's coaching soccer in the afternoons. He also was doing the MC stuff with the Louisville Bats, they had an afternoon game today. So he's always doing that. So Matt is producing this show. Roman's producing KRC and Hoosier. Is that it?
The Hoosier.
Yeah, Hoosier Report.
He knows so much about Indiana high school basketball now.
He loves it.
Great Southern Indiana rivalries. He's living his best life. He's loving it. Papa J's texted in. We always love a good Papa J text. Hopefully you guys are having a great day so far. Mike, you are my guy, so I need to be sold more on this coming year's basketball team. I totally bought in last year because of how excited you guys were about the team, even though you were a little concerned about the defense. So since I depend a lot on you guys and value your opinions, I've got 2 questions for you. One, not being in Louisville and hearing all the local rumors and talk hinders me. Do you like the construction of this coming team better than last year? I'm concerned about us scoring. 2, who or what do we need to add with our 1 or 2 spots that can help make a difference? Jedi Matt, do your homework. Please take advantage of having the best Mike at your side and learn. Don't tell him to do that. Study more sports and become more aware of more sports information. You have the entertainment down. I think you're pretty funny. But add to the sports style. He's saying you don't know ball.
He's saying I'm stupid.
He's saying you don't know ball.
Papa J is saying I'm dumb.
Matt, don't take that.
Which would you rather be? Entertaining but not knowledgeable, or knowledgeable but not entertaining?
Entertaining,
absolutely.
That's what he's saying you got.
If we're saying like 100% to 0%, like I know nothing about ball, but I'm entertaining, I'm still taking that one.
I probably would too.
Exactly. Who are you gonna watch more? Are you gonna watch some boring guy who knows everything about ball? Or are you gonna watch a guy who's
Oh, you mean John Rothstein?
But see, this is what I always say about where I go for, like, when I'm listening to podcasts, I need you to do one of two things, preferably both. But you've either got to be informative or you've got to be entertaining. If you're neither one of those things, I'm not listening.
That's true.
If you're both, I'm more in tune to listen. Like, I used to listen to when Mark and Tate Frazier were doing Titus and Tate. That was my go-to for college basketball, like humor. Like, they would dive into the lighter side of stuff, and then I would listen to Parrish and Norlander for the information, because they're always very well informed. And now I think they do a little bit more of the entertainment stuff. But, like, if you're not doing either one of those things, then, like, what's the point? What are you doing? You got to be great in one of those two areas, preferably really good at both. Mulberry Jam Guy, I can't believe we let him get that nickname, says, this is for Dornat. Rank the starting five for U of L men's college basketball by length of sausage according to your imagination. This text isn't for you, Mike.
I'm not.
Don't do this. Do not engage in this.
I'll do a lot of stuff on radio. I can easily be bought, but I'm not doing that.
We let the
length of sausage.
How
do you rate that?
We let the listeners take us in a lot of weird directions. At some point, there has to be a limit. And I think this right here is beyond the limit. We're not doing that.
On my talk with Roman, we had a weird text about me having some sexual intrusions with the people here. I don't know. I can't remember the exact words, but it was something
sexual intrusions.
I can't remember. Excursions or something like that.
I was like, intrusions? What does that even mean?
I don't even know.
It's not a word.
It was a different word then. I don't know.
I like how he texted it at
sucks, but
12:37 during KRC and then said disregard.
and then
texted it again.
Very into it. Texas' inability to recognize Game 4 and Game 5 were reffed by the same, but reversed is crazy. Also, you have to call a timeout to get a challenge, which he didn't do.
I mean, he ran up to the official begging for a challenge. Like, I imagine, like, the ref isn't like, you didn't say timeout.
No, you didn't say timeout.
Yeah, like,
maybe like that.
That happens sometimes. Texas Reggie Miller complained about how ugly our 2012 Sweet 16 game against Michigan State was, which Len Elmore replied, that's coming from an offensive star, but as a defensive player, which Elmore was, he said it was a beauty. We still set the record for the fewest points that a number one seed has ever scored in a second weekend or beyond game. I believe we held Michigan State to 42 points. Suck on that, Draymond, forever and ever. 57-44 was the final score of that game.
I always forget he's on that team.
He was. He shoved Russ Smith. Russ got in his head so much that he just shoved him down to the ground. That game, by the way, with 8.5 minutes left in the first half, was Louisville 8, Michigan State 7. That was the way that we could beat them. And we played our style to perfection. That was Keith Appling, Draymond, and they had like one more big star on that team. Brandon Dawson, who ended up getting into a lot of trouble. Adrian Payne was the other big name on that team. They were good. They just weren't good enough. Texter says, got the Airbnb booked for Labor Day weekend in Nashville. I'm planting my flag now. Big Game Brom is going to send shockwaves week 1. Music City gets painted red. Ole Miss fans have no idea what's coming, and I love it. Can't wait.
I have thought about it. Like,
I hope it's like that.
This year, whenever Vandy beat Alabama and they carried the goalpost all the way to the river and threw it in, it's got. If you're actually going down there for the game, for anybody out there, it's gonna. If they do win that game, Broadway is probably gonna be really fun.
Oh yeah, I mean it'll absolutely be a show. I mean, hell, we went there in December for the Music City Bowl. We beat Texas A&M, which would have been a much smaller deal, and I feel like it still was kind of dominated by U of L fans, and it was a lot of fun back then. I mean, what do we think? Ole Miss, I think we can all agree, they've got a bigger football fan base, which is super weird. My next door neighbor and a house right across the street are like gigantic Ole Miss fans. I don't know how that happened,
really?
But like they have a very solid fan base, and they are probably more excited now, even with Lane Kiffin leaving, than they ever have been before. They're coming off of a trip to the Final Four for college football, if you want to call it that.
True.
They got Chambliss back. What do we think the attendance split is going to be like for this game? Because we're closer, but there are more of them. They've probably got bigger preseason expectations. Do we think we can have an advantage, or do we think it's going to be 50-50, or do we think it's going to be them
70-30.
outnumbering us?
I'm feeling a 50-50 split, to be honest.
Matt, what'd you say?
70-30.
Them?
No, us.
Oh, really?
I think that this is we've said it before. This is year for Braum. This is it. You got to do it. And I think that people are going to come out in droves for this team this year.
I think 70-30 is a stretch. I'd say 60-40, but
I think it's
70-30.
closer to 50-50.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be like that, to be honest.
You got to think, this is a game you could literally just drive out and come back if you really want.
Well, funny enough, my parents been planning to probably go down there, and they're probably going to like pick me up from college on the way there, because I'm like probably an hour away from Bowling Green in Nashville. So they're just going to go down my way and then pick me up from that and just take me to the game probably. That's what we're planning.
There you go. It's unfortunately, I say unfortunately, it's my daughter's birthday weekend. We won't. I don't know if we're going to be making the trip, but it's actually going to be on her birthday, September 5th. So hopefully she gets the present of a Cardinal victory over.
Take her to Broadway.
You love music. Let's do it. We're down. She's like, well, why are we going to a football game? Don't worry about it. We'll go to the day after. Birthday at the Country Music Hall of Fame. It'll be good. we'll have fun. We got to go to break. When we come back, more from you guys. We'll check in with YouTube Nation as well. Keep the thoughts coming. Mike Rutherford Show, 1450 The Big X.
He's probably slow dancing with a bleach blonde tramp, and she's probably getting frisky. Right now, he's probably buying her some fruity little drink, 'cause she can't shoot whiskey. Right now, he's probably
Kraft Sporting Goods is Southern Indiana's team sports specialist and is your local Adidas team product dealer. Kraft specializes in outfitting your team, organization, club, or business in apparel, hard goods, and accessories from Adidas and many others. Kraft offers fundraising opportunities for your team, organization, or club through online web stores. Let our friendly staff get you started today by calling 812-282-5400 or visit and shop at our website at kraftsports.com.
Joe is back at Everything Concealed Carry with 900 to 1,000 new and used guns on his way at any given time. You can see, touch, and compare until you find exactly what you want. No grouchy old man here, just a welcoming team ready to help. And remember, we also buy guns for cash right on the spot. Come visit us today at 10306 Taylorsville Road in the heart of J-Town. Call 502-657-8488 or check us out online at eccguns.com. Everything Concealed Carry. Joe is back, and so are the deals.
Hey football fans, Louisville football is set to take on returning college football playoff semifinalist Ole Miss in Nashville over Labor Day weekend.
Successful American Idol winner.
I mean, she's got to be. She literally owns Sunday Night Football.
It's her. Well, yeah, that's probably
true.
puts her ahead of Kelly Clarkson, right? Those are the two. When Kelly Clarkson has her own show, does she still have that show? I'm showcasing my lack of daytime TV knowledge now.
God, I can't remember. If
she did at one point. I mean, Like, they have to be the two most successful, right? And then Jennifer Hudson, who won an Oscar, right?
Really?
No idea.
For what was the something girls, like that movie about the singing the black R&B singing group from the 60s. You guys are no help.
You're preaching to nobody.
Got no clue.
I'm going to make sure that I'm not great. She won Best Support Dreamgirls. She won Best Supporting Actress Oscar 2006. It's a good movie. It's a classic. My wife, the movies that she always watches when they come across TV, it's a Mary movie. That's what we call them. But those three have to be the three biggest ones. And it's crazy because American Idol's still on. I don't know if they've churned out a star in like 20 years at this point.
Nothing much.
And The Voice has never given us a star. I think we've tapped out on all the talent. Everybody who's talented in America has already been discovered, or they're on YouTube waiting to be discovered.
That's true.
I think that's what we figured out.
YouTube's a better platform to work off for your talent than anything else on a reality TV show or something like that.
You're probably right. 4 o'clock hour here. We've got Matt Childress in the house today and turning in as well. Before we get back to the text line, so I watched something last night. I started it a couple of days ago. I finished it last night to try and get my mind off of the collapse from the Colorado Avalanche. Have either of you all watched The Crash on Netflix, the documentary about the girl who was involved in the car wreck with her boyfriend and friend?
I never watched it. My parents have been talking about it nonstop for the past 2 weeks. And it's a
everywhere.
crazy story. So I basically know the whole thing because he's been talking about it nonstop. So it's a crazy story, what I heard.
So I went into it with an open mind because I didn't know the details. And I was like, we'll hear both sides here. The long and short, the real quick story is a girl was driving a car at 5 o'clock in the morning. She crashed into a building going like 100 miles an hour. Her boyfriend and one of their other friends, male friends, were both killed instantly. She survived. And the question is whether or not she did it intentionally. After watching the whole, and if you don't want, like, I'm not going to give away something. I'm just going to tell you what I think because there's no conclusive answer. I'm like 100% convinced this girl did it on purpose. Like she,
I would believe that too.
She gives. I hate to do like the whole like sexist whatever. She gives me vibes of girls that I knew growing up who ended up doing very crazy things. Like she just has and apparently she's like all this stuff comes out now that she's this terrible person in jail and everybody hated her in high school and she just did some weird. Like, I'm sorry. She said she fell asleep. She said she had POTS, which I also have dealt with POTS since I had COVID. And POTS makes you feel, you lost your mic, intern Ian. Whole mic just went flying up. You're gonna have to fix that. Maybe just put that down and take the other mic for a second.
I'll be over there in just a second. I can fix it.
Yeah. What it doesn't do is make you fall asleep and stick your foot down as hard as you possibly can so that the pedal is hitting the floor and you're going 100 miles an hour without any sort of braking or letting up. I think she absolutely did this thing on purpose. But if you've seen the documentary, it is interesting. It does keep your attention. It does create a debate. Let me know what you think. The Crash on Netflix. It's only like an hour and 30 minutes or so. Enjoy. Have a good time as we go full-on mic fixing mode here. I mean, I think you just have to twist it back in.
Well, we're listening to piece of what to twist it.
Okay. Well, why don't we do this during the break? We'll put Ian on this mic. We'll turn the mic that fell off, and we'll go from here. We'll do it live. Let's check in on YouTube Nation here. We've not had we've not had YouTube thoughts read today. Very first one. How dare you? Mr. Pat says Vegas swept Colorado to advance the Stanley Cup final. What are your thoughts, Mike? I've shared my thoughts. By the way, I think Pat is the only Vegas fan in the entire world. And Pat Murphy's just constantly tweeting at me, constantly talking about this Vegas team. Who supports Vegas Knights hockey? You shouldn't. They've existed for 9 years. They're going to the Cup Finals for the third time. It's Las Vegas. They don't deserve to have hockey. They don't deserve to have successful hockey. I'm going for the Canadians at this point, just because I know they care more than everybody else. Call me anti-American, whatever. There are Canadian players on every team. They care more. They deserve to have a championship more than fans from Carolina or Vegas. The average Carolina kid didn't grow up playing hockey in the winters on frozen over ponds. Stop it. Terry says the intern is so confident in media that he's auditioning for The Bachelor tomorrow. Is this true?
Absolutely not. I have no idea about that. The Bachelor?
The Bachelor.
Yeah, there's no way I'm going to get on The Bachelor. I'm
Okay.
not pretty enough for that.
A2 Atlantic says, have you picked a gift to get Glenn Rutherford of Father's Day? If not, you should get him a Jackson Dart jersey. That's not happening. My dad would not appreciate a Jack. I don't think my dad even knows about the Jackson Dart controversy, but if he does, he wouldn't appreciate it. He's not Team JD. Mr. Paddock says, I hope the Knights can take the cup now against either Carolina or Montreal. Vegas in 5 through 7. Hockey's done. Multiple people say Michael B. Jordan is a big-time star, but he's 42.
Yeah, he's not a
Zoomer.
No.
He's a millennial. LA Lakers 17 says the reason UK has more money is because they have a roster full of reserves, but they're beating their chest because they really think their roster is better than Louisville. Do they, though? I feel like I don't see that as much as other people. I feel like I see them saying Louisville's overrated, and Louisville fans are making the same mistake that we did last year when we thought we were going to be good, and they're going to have the same type of season. I think there's a lot of deflection right now where it's like, they're concerned about their team, but you guys think you're going to be really good, and you're probably going to be just as bad as we are. I feel like that's what I see more than we're going to be really good and you're not very good. Tartan Chalice says, intern Ian Hader here. You knew you're going to have one.
I've got a hater now?
Everybody has to have a hater on this show.
Okay, what's he got to say?
Intern Ian Hader here. Mike, this is the guy who tracks my outfits. Mike, you last wore this shirt.
The outfit guy?
The outfit guy hates you. I wore this shirt on May 11th. God, it's only 16 days ago.
I loved you, outfit guy. Why'd you gotta do me like that?
I like this shirt. Also, hate the UVL UK date. Cheers. I'm going to start mixing up the T-shirts. The problem is the medium T-shirts are getting a little too snug for me to wear now. That's the problem with the summer outfits. I've got a smaller selection of large T-shirts, but they're fitting a little bit better. I got to keep the dancing going. Got to shed about 15 pounds. That's what happens.
Hey, good goals. God,
I mean, when I was your all's age, way back when.
Back in my day.
It's so true though. Like you'd have a couple weekends where you drank too much and ate too much and you didn't move around enough, and you'd be like, all right, I'm gonna eat better for 2 weeks, and I'd be like 15 pounds gone, and I'm back to like where I'm supposed to be.
That's how it was. I've done that before. I've gained like 5 pounds. Take a week off, and I'm back down.
Do a little bit of running, I'm right back to where I'm supposed to be. Like, a couple months max, I'm at my ideal weight. I feel like I eat nothing anymore. Like I eat better than I ever have in my entire life. I can't drop any weight. Once you hit a certain age, it's just
I can't. I don't want to have that.
I know. You always hear about it, but when it actually happens, it's jarring. Oof. Darnock says Gen Z heartthrob Tom Hardy will be 49 years old this September.
I was about to say, I feel like Tom Hardy was an old man.
Yeah, I was wrong. He's way older than I am. Sean says R.I.P. Roman. He was a great guy. Colorado Kieran says, it's been a minute. Do you think Alvaro and Flory are incessantly texting their rival Milan to come join the super team? I did see, and I love that everybody is this crazy. Some Louisville fans were freaking out and saying, look, Milan Momcilovic followed Flory Badunga yesterday. And I was like, oh. A lot of times we roll our eyes at trying to find the breadcrumbs that are leading us in the right direction on Instagram. A lot of times it winds up being completely accurate. Like when
usually does, yeah.
Yeah, when a player's following a bunch of players from a certain team, they end up committing to that team like a week later.
Happens a lot.
But apparently other people said he also followed Malachi Moreno and one of the players from St. John's yesterday. So he's doing his due diligence. He's trying to throw everybody off the set.
I hate when players do that. When they do that little thing, like, hey,
he's self-aware.
Keep your attention on me. Hey, look at me. He's being a little attention grabber right now, kind of like Shai Gilgeous is when he foul baits.
Kieran says R.I.P. Roman in peace.
Roman in peace.
Roman in peace. B-Guy310 says 70-30 is insane. Say you don't know SEC fan bases without saying it.
I also know how close we are to Nashville. I do know that Louisville fans do like to travel.
Prusuki says Ole Miss has the highest acceptance rate of any school in the SEC. They are the safety school for every daddy's money kid south of the Ohio. That's why they have such a large fan base. The weird thing, I mean, Ian, did you have any friends that went to like SEC schools that are there right now?
Well, the school I went to is Spencer County, so like there's not like many rich people that you can really find there. So people that I think that went to an SEC school, not a single one. I do remember, I think one girl from my grade school that went to St. Martha. I think she went to Auburn, maybe.
Okay.
That's the only one that I know that went to an SEC school. Everybody else went like in-state or maybe like somewhere in Tennessee. That's all.
Sounds like Spencer County.
It definitely is Spencer County.
Is there a Spencer County Bullitt County rivalry brewing here?
There's no
playing for
rivalry
Bullitt
with
East. I didn't like Spencer County kids.
I didn't realize that was a thing.
Remember when we beat you guys when you won the state title in what was it, 2022?
wow.
That was a long time after I left.
That was in 2022. Well, I was there.
I'm Unk. I was 27.
I was a sophomore, but I was there. I actually missed the game. I was sick that day. But we had beat Bullitt East, and when they won their state championship run, we were the only loss they had that entire season.
See, Spencer County kids have the SEC thing. We're like, oh, we beat the guys who ended up winning state one time.
Exactly.
To be fair, we kind of did the same thing with Miami.
We're like UCF 2017. We're the real national champions.
Undefeated, though.
We weren't.
Anyway, what I was going to say is, it's a different world. So I think there's become more of a Louisville to SEC schools pipeline in the last few years. When I went, I knew one girl that went to Ole Miss, and I'm living, to quote John Mulaney, like a bleeping Ninja Turtle at Dayton, where we have no air conditioning. My best friend and I are living in a room that's smaller than the studio, basically. No bathroom in our dorm. The whole thing. It was terrible.
That's like PFT up in WKU. There's this giant tower that's about to be knocked down anyways for new apartments, for new buildings. But that one, it's basically like what you said is that room, and the AC was broken for like 2 months.
We didn't even have AC. No AC.
They had some luxury, but the AC was so crappy that there was no luxury in even getting the chance to have it working. And this was like during the time when it was like in the high 90s, so everybody was burning up, and they had like 5 fans on in their dorms.
So it was terrible. And for the most part, I feel like most of my friends who went to schools lived a similar life. The one girl I knew who went to Ole Miss, they were like her roommate was like hiring interior decorators to come in and do their dorms. And apparently that's the thing. Like they hire interior decorators to come down and design their dorm rooms at these SEC schools, which is just like that's a different
crazy.
world.
They have the SEC money. If they're in an SEC school, you gotta have the SEC money, and you gotta have the money to pay for interior.
We
design.
taped news stories to the outside of our door. That was about the most decorating we did my freshman year of college, and I was fine with it. We had people had those little whiteboards and stuff. Like that was it. We had a Louisville basketball poster, but it's a different world down there.
That's the same with us down in Western.
Yeah, it is kind of a big time money school.
Like
Star Wars says, by the way, that 2018 Kentucky team did lose to Kansas State. It was in the Sweet 16 in Atlanta. Thank you. A2 Atlanta says, William Hung is more successful than 95% of all American Idol contestants. Didn't he die recently?
Who's William Hung? Who?
He was the guy. He did the version of She Bangs. And I think there was like something like wrong with him. And it was so bad it was good. And he became kind of like for a very brief period in the early 2000s.
So this guy says he's the most successful American Idol person, but I've never heard his name once.
He wasn't. He said he was more successful than 95%. Like in 2004, 2005, I would say that's true. Like he was an internet celebrity before internet celebrities was like officially a thing. He was. Look him up.
I'll give him a look. William Hung.
William Hung. Midwest Reaction says, Mike, just to clarify, the wink, wink, nudge, nudge stuff you're getting about Milan is coming from randoms, not trusted sources. Not randoms. People who know stuff, typically. But, like, there are 2 people that, like, they know above all. And if I don't hear it from them, it doesn't mean that it's not right, but I'm not 100% certain until, like, I would never... If the people that are doing the wink, wink, nudge stuff had said to me today, or like right now if I got a text, hey, it's 100% done, he's committed. We're like Louisville just got Milan Momcilovic, I would still hold out I wouldn't tell you guys or even like hint to you guys until I heard from the ultimate sources. That's what we'll call it. B-Guy310 says, whatever you do, Matt, don't look up how close Oxford is to Nashville. How close is Oxford to Nashville?
I mean, it's in Mississippi. It can't be that close.
I mean, southern Tennessee is Tennessee and Mississippi are border states. 4 hours.
Louisville's about the same distance. It's 2 hours to get the
We're like 2.5.
So it's 3. It's about 2.5.
You can make it in 2.5. Like
if you're speeding, yeah.
If I'm not making it in 2.5, something's going wrong. The problem with Nashville though is the traffic is. It doesn't matter what time of day you go through Nashville, you're gonna get stuck in traffic. It's the worst.
That is true.
The absolute worst. All right, that's enough on the YouTube chat. Keep them coming if you've got thoughts there. Big thanks to everybody tuning into the stream today. We'll go back to the Gameday Men's Health text line for the remainder of this segment. Texter says 502-414-1450. CFB's Cubs are cursed after one of my fellow White Sox fans heckled PCA, and now the Cubs are headed to the bottom of the Central. I did see the graphic today. It was like how to lose the division in 10 days, and it was like a fake movie poster of PCA with that woman who was the White Sox fan that they're saying now cursed the Cubs. However it happened, I'm glad that it happened. They're pathetic. Texture says, this is the trivia question for Matt. This is the guy who says he's going to have Star Wars trivia every day. We didn't read yesterday's. Do you want me to ask you yesterday's question?
It was Yoda's age, right?
How old was Yoda when he died? Do you know? Did you know that?
900.
Did you know that without looking at it up?
Without looking, no, I didn't know that.
Okay. Here's today's Star Wars trivia question for Matt. Who's the tallest Jedi Master? How do people know this?
Plo Koon?
I was thinking Plo Koon as well.
He's got a really long head.
What is wrong with you all?
Is it General Plo Koon?
It's not Plo Koon.
Who is it?
Yariel Poof, who stands 8'8".
Was he a Wookiee? Is this a Wookiee Jedi?
Stop asking
You're asking the wrong guy, Ian.
You're right.
I'm looking up who Yariel Poof is.
It's a strange name.
He's got a real thin neck. He looks like the classic depiction of like a gray alien.
Oh, is this one of the?
He's terrifying looking.
This is like a very, very abstract character.
Is this one of like the clone breeders from the episode, Matt?
You guys have 20 seconds before I'm putting my foot down and we're moving on. 20 seconds.
I think he is that species. That's what I'm thinking.
There you go. He's from a comic book apparently.
Yeah, it would be that. But that's 20 seconds. You're good now. We can move on from that question.
Now I'm just fascinated by how weird this guy looks. How is this guy a Jedi Master? I don't trust this guy. I don't like him.
Trust only in the Force.
The Riddlers texted in. Here we go. So the Louisville Kings were able to consistently put 10K butts and seats in the rain at Lynn Family Stadium, but Josh Truthers want to convince us that Louisville basketball can't put 19K in the yum. I wonder what the difference is. Hint, it's the price. Make the Riddler the creative director for the basketball program yesterday. Of course it's the price. I don't think we'll ever get back. I think even with decent tickets, I don't think we would ever get back to like 21, 22K. But for big games, yeah, we could get 20K in there if the tickets were more reasonable. Josh Truthers. I love the vernacular. Texas, I will fight this intern and Matt if he says a bad word about Zendaya. Is it Zendaya or Zendaya?
It's Zendaya.
Why am I taking a shot at this? I didn't
You hate Zendaya.
Why am I getting hate when Mike's saying Zendaya?
But I'm not actively saying I don't like her.
I didn't even jump in. I actually defended Zendaya because I told you guys I saw the drama and she was great.
What is there?
This is a pro Zendaya show. I can't name one thing that she's been in, but I know who she is.
Well, I'm a Zendaya con then. Yeah, I really don't see.
Oh, she's in the Odyssey, Matt, your movie.
I know. I'm excited for it.
Oh, God.
How do you think it's going to compare to the book?
I don't know if I like it.
Didn't finish it.
I know. Texter says, Mike, did you see my IG message today? Cool story about Derek Smith. I don't think I did, but I'll check it out after the show. Texter says, Mike, as a Knicks fan and a Louisville fan, it was hard to see Donovan lose, but the redemption factor for Brunson, who everyone kept saying needed to be traded for Donovan Mitchell for the Knicks to compete, gets to beat him on the way to the finals. Not to mention Mike Brown beating the franchise that unjustly fired him twice. It was great to see. It was kind of a middle fingers up.
Were people saying they needed to trade?
This is a pretty nice moment.
Brunson?
A couple of years ago, like before Brunson had his big, he was like just kind of starting to make a star turn, but he wasn't a bona fide star.
Oh, like early on?
Yeah, there were a lot of people. This is when Donovan, people thought he was going to leave Cleveland and go to there was a whole lot of Knicks buzz because he's from New York, family's up there, and like Knicks fans were all in on like Donovan Mitchell's going to save this franchise, let's go. And then it didn't happen. And now it's clearly looking like they made the right decision. And yeah, the Mike Brown stuff's pretty obvious. The Cavs firing him looks pretty bad in hindsight. And yeah, both those guys got some pretty solid bragging rights over the Cavs. It wasn't even close. It just dominated the series. Now they're going to play for a runner-up finish in the NBA Finals. I mean, if you're a Knicks fan, you've got to feel like your only hope is they go 7 games here and they just like beat the hell out of each other in these next 2, because I don't think the Knicks stand much of a chance. Texas, question for Matt. Every time there's a question for Matt, I haven't read this. I don't know what it's going to be.
You're going to love it.
I hope I get proven wrong. But nobody ever says question for Matt. Like, who would you like to see be the backup point guard next year? It's always some anime Star Wars stuff. What's your current anime favorite currently at all time? I noticed your retweet of the Cyberpunk Edge Runners news and figured we could all use more weeb activities on the sacred Big X timeline.
I agree. I'm excited.
Hey, I've gotten mad with this.
The Edge Runners news. I'm excited for it.
Cyberpunk Edge Runners.
It's an anime based off of the video game that came out a couple years ago.
Of course,
it's really good. But they are announcing like season 2 is going to be, I think, in July is what the tweet said. But favorite all time is Naruto easily. That's my favorite. Naruto is the best anime ever made.
I'm never watching that one.
If you're one of those guys who out there watch One Piece, you need to get a life. We need to get jobs.
Well, I watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
JoJo's great.
That's a better one.
JoJo's is great.
Much better than Naruto.
What's happening to the show that I love?
My favorite.
What's happening to the show that I've cultivated for 4.5 years?
It's only because Matt's getting asked these questions that we're talking about this.
I blame the text line as much as I blame you guys.
Don't blame me.
Continue.
Put it on Matt. Double it and give it to Matt.
I'll actually give it to Ian. My favorite, as of recent that I've watched, is probably JoJo's. JoJo's is really good.
But yeah, moving on. Let's move on, Mike.
You guys get it all out of your system?
Yep,
we're out.
You all done?
Until somebody texts about it again in like 20 minutes.
That's probably going to happen.
It's going to be on him.
First time texter, Cowboy. Mike, when are the podcasts coming back? I miss getting sonarded with the boys from Kanye West Lover 9/11. Thank you for that. We'll try to make one happen. It's probably not going to be this week. We'll try to make one happen next week. We've tried a couple of times and just cannot get the dates worked out. I did just get a text from Danny as the show started, and he's like, I have no idea who to pick this week in golf. I'm like, you never know who to pick in fantasy golf. Last week we tried to pick Scotty Scheffler because there was a carryover. We're trying to be carryover vultures get paid, and I didn't realize that Danny doesn't have the ability to use the app, and so he's like, can you pick it for me? And I didn't pick it, so we just picked nobody. Second time. Now, $1,800 carryover this week. We're going for gold. We need a winner this week. Texture says, Jawan Pass looked like Jawan Ass in that Bama game. That was maybe the best game he played, besides the Notre Dame game a year later. Like, he didn't look terrible. The craziest thing about being in Orlando for that is, the whole offseason, everybody was trying to talk themselves into, well, without Lamar Jackson, who was a great player, we can go back to a traditional Bobby Petrino offense. Bobby Ball is going to be back. Maybe we're going to be even better. And I was like, guys, we're not going to be better without Lamar Jackson and Jair Alexander. But like, you would have thought that it would have come out after the season that Bobby Petrino was secretly like, I recognize that there were some huge issues on this team. I wasn't all that confident. We were in Orlando and talking to coaches the night before the game, and they were all like, Bobby thinks we've got a real good shot. Like Petrino went down there thinking that at the very least they were going to be able to play with Alabama. And I think when they got their ass handed to them the way that they did, it humbled a lot of people, including the coaching staff, to the point where they were like, we got issues that we didn't think were there. And that's the risk when you play behemoths early in the season, is that you get exposed and the mental hit that you take is impossible for you to bounce back from. Now, I think that season was doomed regardless of who you opened it with. But I do think they could have, things completely went off the rails in mid-October. You could have kept things together a little bit later in that season. Instead, everybody just quit after that Georgia Tech game, literally and figuratively. It was as bad as it can possibly be. Texas, Mick Cronin proposed a good idea that schools should be allowed to go over the salary cap when re-signing their own players. What do you guys think about that?
I like that idea.
It's not the worst idea.
It's something that definitely could work if it's going to be retaining players.
I mean, I think people enjoy the idea of roster retention. I think that
I love the idea of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot more fun when I'm not even talking about your own teams and being fans and getting to see players grow over the course of 3 or 4 years. Everybody loves that. But I think we also like having some familiarity with the other teams. It's cool. I mean, you think about when I was growing up, everybody you associated certain players with certain, like Tim Duncan, Wake Forest. Even in later years, like Tyler Hansbrough, North Carolina, J.J. Redick, Duke. Guys stayed for 3 or 4 years and they didn't transfer. And that's how college basketball had a star problem for a long time. It's gotten better. I think people are recognizing more names. The issue is they're jumping from team to team. I mean, we're a part of the problem, if you want to call it that. Like Flory Badunga is going to be a preseason All-American. Kansas to Louisville. That never would have happened 10 years ago. 15 years ago or even 5 years ago, if this were to be a rule where you can go over the cap just to re-sign your own players, it would create more of an opportunity for guys to be stars over the course of 3 or 4 years at the same program. I think if you're looking for an area to push back on, it also would maybe keep players in situations that they didn't want to be in. Like maybe they've got a direct conflict with a coach, and this guy's an a-hole. He's preventing me from playing to the best of my ability. He's also making me a less happy person than I would be. But I can make $4 million more if I stay at UCLA than I could if I went to the open market. So what choice do I have? I've got to just like bite the bullet for the betterment of myself and my future family. I guess that would be a concern. But I think the potential benefits outweigh the potential concerns. I actually like that idea.
It's a great idea.
It's not terrible.
I like Corona had a good one right there.
Mick's not a dumb guy. Not a dumb guy.
Yeah.
You can say what you want about him. He's not
smart,
stupid.
but not dumb either.
Let's take a break. We'll come back. It's hour number 3. We'll kick off the hour with something we haven't talked about just yet. We'll get to all your texts. We'll predict the Rihanna. Ooh, okay. We'll predict the night ahead in sports, then we'll call it a day. It's the Rutherford Show, hour number 3 next here on the Big X.
'Cause it seems that wrong really loves my
with some other guy. You know what, Matt? I can see him dying. I mean, very curious why you're playing this song. Rihanna Unfaithful.
There's been a theme.
It's still a jam.
There's been a theme from all the songs I've played.
Okay.
It's not as obvious as like yesterday, which was Tokyo Drift.
Of course. How could I not have
so
picked up
far
on Tokyo Drift?
Well, because you should have seen Tokyo Drift
I'm
at least once
I'm not
in your
gonna see
lifetime.
Tokyo Drift. It's not going to happen. Producer, our intern Ian's mic's off, by the way. We have to smack it.
My bad, Matt.
There it is.
Sorry, I didn't know he switched
My
back.
bad, my bad.
He's back. He's back.
But no, all of the songs have been tied to cheating for a particular reason.
Huh.
Did you watch the Summer House reunion last night?
No, we've already discussed the reason why.
Oh, wait, we have?
Yes,
Who is cheating?
the Thunder.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, maybe if you could find unethical songs, maybe not
Is
explicitly
cheating not unethical?
It is, but it's neither. Like, it doesn't.
Learned a lot about you today, Mike.
It's not. it's not all encompassing. What's the saying? Like, some leopards have spots, but not all. Whatever. It's that thing. Not all cheating. All cheating is unethical, but not everything. Unethical is cheating.
Come on.
There are ways to be unethical besides cheating. Is my
I mean,
point.
yes. I don't think
That's
anybody
what
was
I'm
arguing that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying you could have had unethical music as opposed to just outright cheating.
But they're outright cheating. We
I don't
saw it
think
last night.
They're playing within the rules.
Okay, we got a Thunder sympathizer here.
I'm not a Thunder
sympathizer.
I'm
Thunder
saying
sympathizer.
I stand by my original take, which is if they were my team, I'd be okay with it.
I wasn't disagreeing with that. That doesn't mean
They're playing by the rules.
Am I a fan of the Thunder? No. So am I going to sympathize with them? No.
I'm just saying they're playing by the rules. That's all I'm saying. I don't like it, but it's not technically cheating.
Well, the rules do suck, so I guess it makes sense.
I'm anti-Matt's music selection is what's happening. Just the theme. Hey, by the way, it's hour number 3. Rutherford Show, 1450 96.1, Big X Sports Radio. When Sean Woods, the former UK player who has been drenched in scandal everywhere he's gone, when he got the job at Scott County, I think like a year and a half ago, I believe my exact quote was, "Good luck to those kids." Everybody saw the same thing. Everybody said this is a terrible hire. How could you take this guy whose career at Morehead State was cut short because of assault charges, who we openly saw grab players during games? And it's a bad dude. He's only had this job for a year. He now has been let go already.
Obviously.
And we found out, I think there were rumors about why. I mean, my initial thought was like he's abusing players again. And then some people hit me up and were like, have you heard what's going on down there? And now we don't have to speculate because there are stories out there. 2 students at Scott County High School say that school administrators failed to protect them from repeated sexual abuse, harassment, and assault by basketball coach and teacher Sean Woods, and then also worked to conceal
That's really bad.
the misconduct. Here's the pertinent segment of the story that's written by the Lexington Herald-Leader. According to the complaint, Woods engaged in inappropriate physical content with the students, made sexual comments, asked questions about their sexual experiences, invited them to drink alcohol and attend parties, and kept them in his presence for extended periods, including skipping classes and ordering food to his room. The suit alleges administrators discouraged complaints to, quote, avoid slowing down the process, provided misinformation to parents and the public about the allegations, allowed Woods to continue coaching basketball and attending school events during pending investigations, and ignored or delayed mandatory reports to law enforcement. The lawsuit also alleges Woods had a prior termination from another job for sexual misconduct, a history of inappropriate comments and advances towards students and staff, and that supervisory defendants were aware of that history before hiring him. What are you doing, Scott County?
How does he keep getting hired? That's the first question.
This has to be the end. First of all, he should go to jail.
He's obviously done.
But he can never be around students again. He should never be around players again. He should be away from the sport of basketball and away from anything that helps mold young minds forever. This should have happened a long time ago. He's a bad person.
Scott County's funding should be cut in half just for this.
It's terrible.
Just for allowing all that to happen.
Awful.
That's just some awful stuff you can't let afford to happen at all. It's terrible.
Everyone in the world, including Kentucky fans, are now saying, I told you so, and we told you so. What are you doing? There's some interesting – I think everybody has talked about there is an uptick in local talent when it comes to basketball that we haven't seen in quite a while. We're now finding out where some of these younger players in this area are being ranked in these early rankings for the classes of 28, 29. Well, I'm also seeing so many transfers. And they announce it like college transfers. Like Trinity just got a kid from DeSales the other day, and they're like, he'll bring a great skill set to the Trinity program. And then just now, like one of Trinity's best players announced that he's transferring to Ballard. And they're like, this makes them maybe a top 5 team. Like I said before, when we had kids transfer schools when I was in high school, it's probably because a kid got caught with weed or pills. Like that was the only reason that you went to a different school. You didn't go because that's a better opportunity to play or that system fits my need. It's crazy now.
It's like North Oldham.
They've got a lot of transfers.
Yeah, like they had that Micah Rice kid like a couple years back that we had to play against with North Oldham when they already got another kid who was a 3-star. It was crazy in how that kept happening. North Oldham got gets a lot of money, I think.
The wildest thing, and I was talking with Brett Saxon, who's the Trinity coach now, about this, that is happening that I don't think a lot of people know. It's starting to show up more and more. Is you're seeing players that are spending the first semester of a school year playing one sport at one school, and then the second semester playing a different sport at a different school. He was talking about, there were apparently a bunch of kids. I guess Boyle County football has always been really good.
Yes.
But I guess Boyle County basketball is not good. So there was this big thing where a bunch of the kids that played football at Boyle County, once they got eliminated from the state tournament, they transferred to a different school to play basketball for the second semester. And just the other day, there was a kid who was the leading, it may have been Spencer County, like the leading wide receiver on Trinity's state championship football team this year, just won a state championship in track. It was a county school. It was like Spencer County or Anderson County or something like that. It might have been
Anderson because I didn't hear no news about Spencer County.
This is happening more and more where kids are transferring mid-year to play a second sport that better fits their need than their current school.
That's crazy.
It's absolutely insane out there. But there is a load of talent here locally, and a handful of them were ranked in these early rankings, these updated ESPN rankings. The biggest one that I think people have an eye on right now, and you got a couple of years until he's going to be making a college decision, but Mason Grivna was the starting center for Ballard this year, turned a lot of heads here locally as a true freshman starting on one of the best teams in the state.
Wow.
He is now, according to the first ESPN rankings for the class of 2029, a 5-star prospect who is the number 17 overall player in this class. Now, I talked about this. I watched the Ballard male game.
How big is the kid?
He's like 7 foot tall. He's like 6'10", 6'11". He's big.
That's understandable then for the rating.
Now, I watched the Ballard male game. I feel like it's a lot more difficult to project young kids that are this big because he moves more fluidly than most 15, 16-year-olds who are that size. But you're not going up against fellow 6'10", 6'11", 7-footers. When you're that big, the way you're going to make your ranking is how you perform in the summer. Because you're going to run into AAU circuits, you're going to go to these camps, you're going to go up against the other best 6'10", 6'11", 7-foot-tall kids your age. And if he goes out there and shows out these next couple of summers, he could wind up being a top 10 player in this class. And Louisville would love to have a big-time 5-star center right in your backyard during an era where big men are commanding lots of money. Now, the 28 class, you've got a couple of guys that have been around here locally making big impacts for a couple of seasons now. Josh Lindsay is a name that I think every Louisville fan knows now, the kid from St. X, who is a freak athlete. He is ranked the number 42 player overall in the class of 2028 in these rankings. And then Jordan Mitchell, who I'm big on. I think he checks a lot of boxes. Maybe needs to get the outside shot a little bit better, but was a star for male this past season. He is number 43 nationally, one spot behind Josh Lindsay. A handful of other local players are not in the top 150, but they do get star rankings. Austin Sears, who's a point guard in the 28 class, is rated as the number 13 overall point guard in the class. Jordan Jackson, another kid from St. X, his brother Jeremiah, kind of has taken a little bit of a star, but Jordan may be the actual better college prospect. He is rated as the number 18 power forward. And Trey Hilrick is the number 20 overall center. Boogie Cook, who played at Christian Academy this past year, I think he transferred to Ballard and then transferred back to Christian Academy. It's insane in the same year. He is the number 25 small forward, and then Andrew Terry is the number 23 overall center. It's a lot of words to say the talent here locally on the basketball side of things is about as high as it's been in a long time. And you'd love to see Louisville be able to capitalize on some of these players that are turning heads in their own backyard. I think those first three that we mentioned, Grivna, Lindsey, and Mitchell, they're all going to play power conference, high-level basketball. You'd love for it to be at your program. But, I think Josh Lindsey's going to have to prove that he can handle it a little bit better to play point guard at this level. But he's got all the other tools.
I would love to have Lindsey. He'd be such an exciting player to watch at Louisville, too, if we had him.
I mean, doing 360 dunks at, 15 years old.
The next Mitchell.
That's
Mitchell could be.
Johnny Kelsey's recruiting him.
I mean, they're shadowing.
Johnny Kelsey is.
Johnny Kelsey's making plays. He's trying to help us out there. Matt, when are you going to get some Bullet East stars to come here and play for? I'm doing all I can with the Rock contingent.
I mean, I can't say there's going to be a lot of Bullet East stars with, coming around this area. By the way, they're not transferring out.
Speaking of our two schools, the 6th and 7th region baseball finals have officially been postponed until tomorrow. So, Bullet East, Bullet Central, 5:30 tomorrow at U of L. Trinity versus St. X, 8 o'clock at U of L as well. Look, I've inspired the boys. I think they watched my old 2002, 2003 highlight video. That has led them to be the number 3 team in the country. Now we've got to get it done. My senior season ended with a region tournament loss to St. X. We got upset. I think that if you're listening to this, and I think all the Trinity baseball players listen every day to this show. They love it. They can't get enough. Don't make the same mistake that I did. Don't let up. Don't take it for granted just because you beat St. X in the regular season that you're going to get it done in the region. Take it seriously. Get it done. Go chase the state title. We beat St. X 11-0 and then turned around, got beat in the region
St. X
tournament.
plays like they did the other night. Trinity should have easy work with that.
They almost lost to Eastern.
Wasn't my cousin on that baseball team as well in Trinity?
Mitch?
Yeah.
We're the same age, but he was a grade ahead of me.
He was a grade ahead.
So he was on the team my junior year when we played for the state title.
Okay.
Yeah, Mitch. He was more of a summer superstar. When we played St. Matthews in the summer, we played travel ball, Mitch just lit it up, just turned it on. But he was very good at Trinity as well.
That's
also
good.
a great guy. Now he's he's running the St. Albert athletic program, basically.
He
just
basically
coaching
is.
everything, just having a great time. Couple other pieces of note. Speaking of, there was also another transfer announcement today in the high school front. LaRon Westmoreland, who signed with Kentucky to play football next season.
Yep.
He's played at J-Town the last 3 years. He's going to Corbin High School to play his senior season of basketball or of football. I can't imagine a bigger transition from a cultural standpoint than J-Town to Corbin. I mean, the only thing that I know about Corbin is that people say it's like the racist capital of Kentucky, which is saying something. That will be interesting to see how that goes. Best of luck to him.
Let's just say he won't enjoy his time.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Maybe if he plays good enough, though, he'll enjoy his time. But if he doesn't, maybe lacks performance, then it's probably gonna be the way he does not want it to.
He might have family down there. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll have
Also,
to see.
happy retirement to a couple of Cardinal legends. Drew Ellis, who was a baseball superstar here.
Oh, Drew Ellis.
Maybe most famous for single-handedly almost beating Kentucky in the 2017 Super Regionals. I think he hit 3 home runs in 2 games, including a grand slam. He pimped a home run in game 1, and it turned UK fans. It infuriated UK fans. Like, how dare this thug flip his bat and look at our dugout? And then we played them in game 2 the next day. He hit another one, and I think he pimped it even more, which was incredible.
That's hilarious.
He has called it a career. I think he played a handful of games in the majors for the Diamondbacks for a while. Had a good pro career, but he has officially retired. And then maybe the name that people are more familiar with, Edgar Sosa, announced today that he is officially retiring. And look, I mean, Sosa's last year here was 2010. That's a 16-year professional career.
That's a long time.
It's a long time, especially when, if you remember, he was playing for that Dominican Republic team that John Calipari was coaching in the summer of 2011 that was playing in FIBA and trying to qualify for the Olympics, and had that gruesome leg injury where his leg snapped. And I think a lot of people at that moment thought he'd never play basketball again. He played for 15 more years after that. He made himself a lot of money playing overseas. And I've always said this whenever his name comes up on this show or previous shows that I've been on. A lot of people make a lot of assumptions about the character of people based on the way that they act when they're playing. And Sosa was he was a lightning rod for criticism while he was here because he burned hot. And he took shots that people didn't like, talked a lot of noise, seemed kind of bombastic on the court. Off the court, he's always been one of the nicest players that's ever come through Louisville. And I think that he has endeared himself to the Louisville fan base as he's gotten older. Always been a class act. When he comes back, always has nothing but great things to say about U of L, and I wish him nothing but the best in his retirement. Great career, and gave us one of the best rivalry moments we've ever had with the famous shot against Kentucky to knock them off in 2009, 2010, whenever that was. I remember being there. It was first.
I was too during that
great.
time, so I have no idea.
Edgar Sosa is like the Star Wars prequels for my generation. All the older people hated him. All the younger people love him.
That's not a terrible comparison. That was, he did a reverse T-Will. Everyone loved T-Will when he was here. Then he came back, and everyone's like, this guy's kind of an ass. Like why is he wouldn't he go to games wouldn't look up from his phone even when he was on the big screen, and now he's in jail, which does not help his cause either. So best of luck to both those guys, not T-Will, but Drew Ellis and Edgar Sosa in their retirements. Congratulations on terrific professional careers. Let's go back to real quickly. I also want to mention this because it just happened. We were reading off the first set of ESPN game times. Arkansas is furious about where their first SEC game has been placed in the pecking order, so much so that their director of athletics, Hunter Yurachek, has put out an official statement about this. I am extremely concerned and displeased about the recently released kickoff times for our football program in consecutive weeks this September and the impact it will have on the well-being of our student athletes. ESPN has set our game at Utah for 9:15 p.m. Central Time on September 12th. We anticipate returning to campus at approximately 6 a.m. on Sunday, September 13th. That's followed by an 11 a.m. home kickoff against Georgia just 6 days later on September 19th. The assigned schedule will cost our student athletes nearly a full day of rest and recovery that they would otherwise have available to them. This is simply not a competitive. This is simply a competitive disadvantage. It is a genuine welfare issue for the young men who represent our program and contribute greatly to the bottom line of our television partners. Oh my God, they're calling out the television partners.
Wow.
This type of scheduling is unacceptable and demonstrates a clear neglect for the well-being of college athletes. I am confident that there are not many programs in the SEC that would be placed in a similar position, and I will not quietly accept it for our program. I have formally requested that the SEC office and ESPN aggressively pursue an alternative solution for one or both kickoff times during these consecutive weeks. The focus must be on the well-being of the game's participants, not the bottom line of our media partner.
This has to be satire, right?
No, this is an official statement from the AD. I mean, we're playing Saturday. We're playing Sunday, Friday. And I know Villanova is not the same as Georgia, but we're playing on 4 days rest. They're playing Saturday. Do they think they're the only people that have had to do this, where it's a late night kickoff on one Saturday and then an early kickoff the next Saturday? Get over yourselves. This is, if anything, this is a mild disadvantage. He's like, our TV partners, if they want a competitive game, they better. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Also, if the argument of this complaint is that it's long travel for short rest, just don't schedule against an out-of-conference opponent and gets across the country.
He's complaining that kickoff is 10 hours later, or 10 hours earlier, a week later. That's the lamest scheduling complaint I've ever heard. What are you doing?
You got a whole week to rest.
Arkansas, get over yourselves.
Let's make these kids play head-to-heads, back-to-back.
This is why they haven't been good since the 90s.
It's a safety concern, guys. Safety concern.
I grew up playing doubleheaders.
Forfeit the game, then. Forfeit the game. Whatever. Gameday Mens Health text line 502-414-1450. Dave, the teacher from Jeffersonville, said, new intern. Finally, they're replacing Matt. Intern Ian, is your real name Ian? What's your favorite Star Wars movie? What's your social security number? What's the last book you read?
Well, first question. My favorite Star Wars movie is probably Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Second question, I can't give you that. Why would I give you my social security number? It's a little strange, man. I don't know. Do you want to meet me or something? We can, but...
Are you saying that if you meet him, you'll give it to him?
No. If he offers to buy me, free roosters or something, maybe we can do that. But I love roosters. If you can buy me free roosters, then maybe I can give him the social security number. Maybe. But
bad trade right there. Not a great trade.
But then, I only said maybe. I might just be faking him. And what was the last question? Last book I read?
Yes.
I don't know. 7th grade, Outsiders.
Good book.
Stay golden, Pony Boy. Texas says, I believe KS Bar during game days is Matt and crew going to a different sports bar and doing a pop-up location during game day, not a permanent location. Well, then why would they? I don't know.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Texas Mike, any comment on the rumor that Bar Chronicle will be opening at the location of the former KS Bar and Grill and installing Momchilovich as the manager of that location on an NIL deal with U of L basketball? Look, I said there were some logs on the fire. I said that I was getting some texts about some stuff. There was some stuff developing. I can neither confirm nor deny that that's the plan for Bar Chronicle moving forward. Trevor's stepdad says, does Ian think that he can outrun an alligator?
I cannot outrun an alligator. I don't think I'm that fast at all. I have no faith in my speed.
We formerly had a producer who was approximately 400 pounds who believed he could outrun an alligator and also pole vault. And neither one of those things were remotely accurate. So we have a long history on the show of people believing
They can run up to 15 miles an hour?
Look, anytime. Well, first of all, Trevor couldn't outrun anything.
I have some science with animals. I know how fast they can be. Like a bear, no way I'm going to outrun that too, because I think they run even faster than an alligator. I think it's like 20 miles.
None of us could outrun an alligator.
No chance.
Is what we need to.
Yes.
Who's this guy who has texted in throughout? Like, this guy has sent in like 1 million texts today from 1:46 up until now.
I'm seeing it now.
What is he saying?
He's this reeks of angry guy. We haven't had an angry guy on the show in a long time. U of L don't beat any of the teams Miami beat in the playoffs last year. How do you know that? U of L never has the depth on either line of scrimmage to last an entire year, let alone add playoffs. How does Roman already know it's going to change? BS, dude. You can't predict injuries. Don't claim Miami wins, Louisville fans. Brom loves the weak schedule, though. Nobody fears Louisville. LOL. Ha, 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 ha. Who is the OOC win since Brom's been there? I will wait. Roman don't know football. This is a Canes fan right here, not Loserville or UK. WTF. Ha, 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 fruit.
Oh, so this is a KRC texter.
Must be.
At least my quarterback didn't get rejected by Haley Cavender. I'm just saying.
Well, didn't he cheat on Haley Cavender? Wasn't that the whole thing?
Was that the case? Oh.
He lasted like a week and a half in Miami before he cheated on the girl that he moved to Miami for. That was the big thing.
Why would he do that anyways? He's got Haley Cavender.
I think he's doing okay. He's doing it.
He looks like the sloth from Ice Age. How does he even let that happen?
He does. Being a primo athlete.
Give him like 5 more years. No, actually, no. Just give him 1 more year. When he can't get in the NFL, there's no chance he's going to find a woman.
Texter says
the money ain't going to save him.
Will Hankey would be number 1 on that list. I don't even remember what list we were talking about, but that's at 353. Drinks Guys texted in. He said, we're going to do to Ole Miss what Sherman did to Vicksburg during the Civil War. It's a great Civil War text right there.
It's a great one.
Text says, Mike, the Ole Miss game is September 6th, which is actually my birthday. I thought it was the 5th. All right, so it's the day after my daughter's birthday, which is actually my birthday. My son's birthday is September 4th.
My little boy's birthday.
So I'm hoping we can celebrate his birthday and then drop him off with the grandparents and then head down to Nashville. The schedule will work out pretty well for you there. I am hoping it's going to be a solid contingent. Texas, I live in Nashville, and I can tell you without a doubt that Ole Miss will have the majority of fans at that game. Louisville is closer, but Oxford is also only 4 hours from here. Yeah. There are also a ton of Ole Miss alums living in Nashville. With that said, I think we see Big Game Brom come out and we get the W.
70-30.
I think it's going to be 50-50 or
I'm 50-50 or
standing on this plateau. 70-30.
It's 55-45 Louisville.
I feel like every time we try to do this on this show, what used to be Roman was overly confident about U of L fans showing up, and then it ends up being a little bit of a disappointment. Hopefully this is not the case.
I've been at so many games. I know how it's going to be like that. There's not much faith in that.
Gas is pricey right now.
Definitely is.
Maybe that hurts the Oxford fans more than us. It's a shorter travel for us. Texas, I can confirm that Kelly Clarkson does still have a show, as it was just on at my local Planet Fitness 20 minutes ago.
You made it.
That's the prime audience, I think, for daytime talk shows now, is people walking on the treadmill at public gyms. There you go. Texas, I saw Flory on a flight back to Louisville from Derby. Nice guy. Gave him a couple quick go cards and asked him if the team was going to have a good year. And he replied, hopefully. Not exactly encouraging from a $5 million player. Also, he's definitely too large to be in United Economy. I don't like the story one bit. I don't like the fact that Flory Badun is asked if we're going to have a good year, and he just says, hopefully. I need some more confidence.
Maybe he's just a hopeful guy.
When did this happen? Was this like at the very beginning of the portal when it was
Well,
just
no,
him
no.
and Shellstad?
He said
It's after Derby.
After
so
Derby.
Oh,
it's
okay,
like,
after
I think,
Derby.
what,
Thank
a
you,
month after
interning, for
that,
listening.
So, well, maybe he just hasn't had that many practices yet. So he's just.
this is the cornerstone of the damn
know
team. We gave him $5 million.
Gave him $5 million.
I gotta give a L's up. We're winning the title. Like you give me some confidence, Flory. I don't like that one bit.
I don't know. Maybe Flores is just a humble guy. Maybe he doesn't have that cockiness to him.
Although, pivot. We had a lot of players last year talking about, the goal is the national title. Like, we're going to be great. This is going to be awesome.
That is true.
And we won one game in the tournament. Maybe having more of the humble hungry or humble and, quiet is maybe that's better.
That might be the better energy to lead him to farther in the tournament.
Maybe. Texas shows like American Idol and The Voice don't give us stars anymore because they prioritize sob stories over talent. There you go. That's one take. Maybe it is. Or maybe we've tapped out all the talent in the country. Who knows? Let's take a break. When we come back, final segment of the day. We'll run through the text line. We'll make some predictions for the night ahead in sports. And then we'll hand things off to the Ticket Punchers. Rutherford Show. Big X. It's my senior year of high school. The Britney Justin drama, you guys just wouldn't understand. It was, I mean, just tore it. Just a love affair for the ages, a breakup for the ages, and then just Justin Timberlake casting wild aspersions in the direction of Britney Spears. Made this video. The actress basically looked just like Britney Spears. Crazy.
Really?
But a good song. Good song.
You're talking about Justin Timberlake, the actor?
Talking about the actor? What, now he's dancing? Somebody posted a video of them, like, NSYNC dancing in Times Square in 2000. And I was like, this is the group that people thought were like amazing dancers 26 years ago. Look, I'm not a dance aficionado just because I'm practicing these days. But I was like, I feel like I could do some of these moves. I feel like I could make some of this happen now. Anyways, it's the final segment of the Rutherford Show, 1450 96.1 Big X Sports Radio. Reminder, if you've been hurt in an accident or on the job, hit up the Collier Law Firm. They got your back, not your wallet. That's why their attorney fees start at just 25%. Give them a call today, 502-736-8141, or go online to CollierLawFirm.com. That's COLYER lawfirm.com. Hurt in an accident or on the job, call your law firm. We've mentioned this a couple times today. There's stuff going on with Ole Miss right now, who is, of course, Louisville's first opponent in the 2026 football season. One of the main things happening is that the NCAA has reportedly launched an investigation into tampering. Dabo Swinney claimed a few months ago that Ole Miss had tampered with a linebacker who, like, right afterwards committed to Ole Miss. Pete Golding now is basically saying, if the NCAA comes after me, I'm going to expose the whole system. He declined comment to USA Today Sports when he was asked if he threatened the NCAA, but he spoke at length on tampering problems in college football. Here's the exact quote from Pete Golding. He said, I think a lot of things make headlines. There's a lot more people involved that everybody might not know. I'm not going to sit up here and say whatever we did or we didn't do. Was it right or was it wrong? But, when you go through what we went through with other people tampering and what you're seeing day in, day out, some things you feel like shouldn't matter that, they're making a big deal about. He basically is like, there's way worse stuff happening than what we're doing, and if I get in trouble for this, I'm going to tell everybody what's going on right now. It's a bold take. It's a bold stance to make.
This sounds like when, you catch a little kid doing something wrong, and then he's like, but he did it first.
Oh, yeah. Or something worse happened that I'm going to tell. Johnny, Johnny kicked me. Oh, yeah? Smacked me across the face and called me a slur before it happened. Like, okay, well, this guy needs to be taken down a couple of notches. Every time I hear Pete Golding say something, I get more and more excited about the potential of Jeff Brom just smacking him around to start this season and having everybody be like, we shouldn't have given the job to the interim. We should have made a national search. Now we're screwed. This guy didn't know what he's talking about. I want that to happen. Luke Farrelly, by the way, is the name of the linebacker who transferred from Clemson to Ole Miss and apparently was tampered with.
Well, Dabo said that he was basically being contacted while he was in class on Clemson.
He was.
And they had text receipts.
They did, that's crazy. That's bold.
It's not like it's like, oh, this is the one time I actually could defend Dabo in this situation in my entire life.
I agree.
It wasn't like he came out and just was like, yeah, Pete Golding did this with no information. It was like a 10-minute interview where he laid out piece by piece what was going on with timestamps.
He did. He knew it. He wasn't wrong.
He's got the evidence.
Do I think they're the only ones doing it? Of course not. But this was more brazen than most illegal tampering situations. 502-414-1450. You got a lot of text to get to, not a lot of time to make it happen. We'll do the best we can. Texas, I texted in yesterday about spending too much on basketball. Definitely not expecting top Big Ten SEC spending. I just want the football program to get closer to the Big Four in the ACC and not be outspent by Cal, UNC, VT, and GT. I think we're going to get a couple of those teams this year. Playoff expectations when we're probably 8th or 9th in ACC spending is a heck of an ask for our guy, Brom. We're lucky. Most respected coaches in the business would see $20+ million spent on basketball and would be out the door. That is the benefit of having Jeff Brom. It does, I think, open the door to, people will say, well, don't worry about problems that don't exist yet. Well, this is sports radio. This is what we do. Let's say Jeff doesn't get it done here, or the worst, I guess maybe a better case scenario, he does it so well that he gets like the Notre Dame job or gets an NFL job, which I think are the only two situations where he would leave for Louisville.
That's the only possibility I see.
If things are kosher here. how much harder does it get for us to hire a coach in this new day and age at a program where they've got to be okay with us spending so much money on basketball than it was for us to hire a coach 10 years ago? I feel like that's a thing, right?
Yeah.
Interesting times. Hopefully we're not in that situation anytime soon, but it's a potential future concern for sure. Texas says St. X class of 2020 here. Everyone I knew that went to the Big Four of St. X, Trinity, Sacred Heart, and Assumption went to Kentucky, SEC school, Dayton, or Cincy. There is a great there's definitely a pipeline from Louisville to the Ohio schools. I feel like there's not as much with Louisville to the Indiana schools. Like you don't hear about a lot of people going to Butler
I don't
or
see
Purdue.
anybody go to Indiana.
I mean, I had a couple friends go to IU, but besides that, like, you know, I mean, I knew people that went to Ohio State, Dayton, Xavier, certainly a lot of schools up there. Miami, Ohio. It's definitely a thing. Texas Tampa card here. What do you think the percentage chance is that Mark Pope is coaching Kentucky in December when U of L plays them? I don't think it's 100%, but somewhere in the 90s.
In the 90s? I think Kentucky will keep him around for at least the Louisville game.
You're not going to fire him after a month, right?
Well, if he loses to Louisville and he's sucking his job, like, you know, maybe he's like 9-10 when they finally meet at Louisville or something like that, or whatever record they have.
It'd be like 4-5.
I don't know how many games will go by that time.
I'm trying to think of what do we know about Kentucky's schedule before they play Louisville? Because they play Indiana in November.
Yeah, that's right.
And if they got blown out by IU, that would piss a lot of people off.
That'd be really upsetting. They
would have to have a couple of losses in bye games and just absolutely get railed in the couple of big games that they have before. Because I think the North Carolina game that they play in that CBS Sports Classic is after us. It would have to be. I mean, there's no way.
It would probably be after the North Carolina game then, if that's the case. If they just keep getting, like, wrecked by every single team they play and have, like, a negative record by, like, past the North Carolina game, then maybe there's a chance he might fire him midseason. Maybe.
It's not 100%, but it's not 100% for anybody. But I'd say it's
Pope's on the hot seat, though, so there's that chance.
How strong does that get lifted up if Tyron Stokes just drops, like, 35 on him in the Champions Classic?
Oh, even more. Those chances will be very high if Tyron Stokes is absolutely mollywops him.
There is a strong potential for some terrible looks for Mark Pope because, I mean, you could lose to the recruit that everyone said you had to get. You could lose to the team that everyone says is so far beneath you shouldn't even be playing them in Indiana. You could lose a second straight game to Louisville and do it on your home floor for the first time since 2008. You could, I mean, they could lose to Calipari in Arkansas again, and this time it would be, back at home? Like, he could check every single box of things that Kentucky fans are terrified of him not being able to do in the first 3 months of that season, and then just live the last 2 months of that season knowing full well that he's not coming back. Like, they could go to a miracle Sweet 16 as a 10 seed, and I think they still would fire him at that point. I'm telling you, I think he's going to get, 80%. He gets fired after this year. Texas, I'm surprised that Mark Pope didn't schedule the game at the Yum Center on June 8th, a week past I-65 being shut down and no one can get there. We haven't talked about the I-65 closure. That's going to be...
I did hear about that.
Oh, it's going to be an absolute disaster.
Watterson is already terrible enough.
Yeah. Texas says if your girl goes to Ole Miss for college, that's not your girl no more, bro. Hottie toddy's a real thing. Texas says...
Not a bad take.
Texas says Momcilovic is going to return and commit to Darius Dent's youth program. Donovan, not Darius.
Darius.
If we have Knox, Fulgaris, and Woolley all shooting in the high 30s, why do we need Momcilovic? Feels like we would be recruiting over players. Well, I mean, yeah, okay.
It never hurts to have more.
Well, but it doesn't. But also, if like none of those guys have shot in the high 30s from threes last season, didn't shoot in the high 30s from threes last season. Woolley did it. He's the only one of the three that has had one of those types of seasons, and it was at Kennesaw State.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different. I think with Momcilovic, you start the season, even if he doesn't shoot it as well as he did last year, which would be tough to repeat, 48.7% on that high of a volume is ridiculous.
It is wild.
Everybody has to respect his ability, though. That spreads the floor, that extends the defense, and that creates space for you to operate around the rim, which I think is going to be the focal point of the offense.
It'll help a lot out for Flory if that was the case. If we can get somebody who's a true three-point shooter, a threat like how we had with Rain and Isaac, well, kind of Isaac, how we had with Rain, though, if we can get somebody that's like a crazy three-point threat, Flory Badunga, he can go to work down there and stay with Gabe Dines. They'll have all the free space down there. He'll have some 10 minutes, and he'll probably have the sparks there. He'll be like a Caitlin Pryor.
He'll be more Akesi, I think, helping us out at the 5. But, I mean, the bigger thing, too, is it creates space for the guys that want to get downhill. Like, that's Jackson Shelstead's game. We saw it be Adrian Woolley's game. It's absolutely Carter Knox's game. Yeah. You need that floor spacer. And then you've got Fulgaris, who's a great connector who can read the floor very well and get the ball where it's supposed to be. Yeah, I mean, I'm using a lot of words to say the very obvious thing, which is he'd be a big addition for us.
He'd be a great addition.
There's no question about that. I think he takes you from that 10 to 15 range to probably that 5 to 10 range. Maybe higher. Texture says, there's a little dumper. Fact, if you don't like Zendaya, you are racist. Oh, it's a tough look for
that. Is not maybe.
That's bad. You've been called a racist. Day 2 of the show.
She just has no talent. There's nothing racist about it. She shows no emotion half the time.
Okay, no talent's a stretch. This woman can sing, she can dance, she can act.
Texas, I'll fight.
She ain't got no emotion.
I'll fight this intern and Matt if they say another bad word about Zendaya.
Come at me.
You guys are.
Come on.
I haven't said it. I've defended Zendaya.
I do like that Matt is getting lumped into this.
He's going to talk on the radio. Do something about it. Come on.
I literally have said on the show today and before that I like Zendaya as an actress.
Texas says, I liked seeing Mike slowly realize how old he was after trying to explain who William Hung was and leading with he sang Ricky Martin's She Bangs as if that was going to clear it up for the kid who was born in like 2005. Yeah, it was like a slowly unfolding moment where it was like, oh my God. I'm so old. Yeah, it was a big deal, but it was like 23 years ago. Texas Mike, whenever you finally lose an all-watch an anime bet, I'll also recommend JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It's fantastic. Got to lose the bet first.
JoJo's is great. You got to watch it.
So Roman, I think I told you this, Mike, but Roman explained to me like the lore behind Dungeon Crawler Carl, right?
Yes.
And when he was telling me about it, I was like, "Do you watch anime, Roman?" He was like, "No, not really." I was like, "Because this is literally the storyline to Solo Leveling." Like that's exactly what you're reading. You're reading white person Solo Leveling right now. And he was like, I'll have to check that out.
Okay. Matt on YouTube chat says, Matt, just say the very long. I don't know if I can say this. Just say the very long head and then said Plo Koon. That's Kiati Monday with the long ass head.
Oh, yes. Yes. Okay. Plo Koon is. Yeah.
This is like a different language for me. Texas says, our YouTube chat, Mike, I grew up playing hockey in North Carolina. We love the Canes here, and we've been so close for years. I'm really hoping for some success. They're the Hartford Whalers. You don't deserve to have a team. I'm sorry. Tokyo Drift absolutely bangs. I'll take your all's word for it. Ian just said no, like Shooter McGavin being asked if he eats pieces of bleep for breakfast in Happy Gilmore. No. I don't even know where that came from, but I don't remember you saying that, but it's a funny moment. Texas says, as much as I hated Roman's NBA talk, this anime and Star Wars talk has me wishing for hours of Roman's NBA talk.
Listen to Run with Roman. We talk it every day.
Every producer we've had, like people hated Trevor's wrestling talk, and they derailed the show. People hated Roman's NBA talk, and now it's Star Wars. Pick your poison. Pick your poison.
You got to find something you like.
Texas, why is Ted Cruz trying to fix college sports? I wonder what Tuberville has to say about the legislation. Someone get Bruce Pearl on the horn. It's not Ted Cruz all by himself. He's got Cantwell with him. Texas says, it's Boxcar Bob. And the Cyberpunk video game is based off of the tabletop RPG from the 80s. Sorry, Mike, got to give old school dork info.
I actually didn't know that. Is that true?
I think I did hear something about maybe being inspired by something like that.
Chris the Plumber says, there's too much nerd talk on the Game Day Men's Health text line today. If we keep talking about Star Wars, I'm going to need them boner pills they're peddling. There you go.
Can't get it up on his own, I guess.
That's a visual I was not expecting. Texas, speaking of Carrie Underwood, did you know that she and Papa Roach did a song together a couple years ago?
Papa Roach.
Leave the Light On is a banger. I did not know that.
Okay, Papa, that's one heck of a collab right there.
Matt, are you familiar with Papa Roach?
Nope.
Cut My Life into Pieces.
Oh, yes.
This is my last resort.
Come
yes.
on.
Suffocation, no breathing. I was never into like headbanging music. That was one of the few songs where I was like, all right, I like this.
I love me some good rock. I love Saliva and Stone Temple Pilots.
Texas says, spelling bee final tomorrow night. Okay.
That's awesome, man.
Good luck. Let's go. Texas, Ian, who did you vote for and why? You don't have to answer.
I'm not answering that.
Texas says, Will Hankey would be number 1 on the sausage list. Stop. I'm begging you guys to stop. It's always 5 o'clock hour. Text says, Roman listening to the Mike Rutherford show and hearing he's actually dead and listening from the afterlife. It's the little Sasquatch meme of him pointing to him. So, me? Texter said, Scootator says, KS Bar, I can't, I cannot read that on air. I can't, I can't read it. You sent it in anyway. Texter says, running 15 miles per hour would clock a 5.45 40-yard dash time. An average man would smoke an alligator in a race, obviously not Trevor, and that includes everyone in the studio right now, and they actually run anywhere from 10 to 15 miles per hour, so it would likely be closer to a 6-second 40-yard dash.
Well,
I'm starting to think people on the text line.
Maybe I have a chance.
I'm starting to think people on the text don't understand like how hard it is to run 14 miles an hour.
On land, alligators can sprint up to 10 to 15 miles an hour, with some aggressive lunges briefly reaching 20 miles an hour. However, they lack stamina and tire quickly, much like myself, and rarely chase over long distances.
But what if those weren't in the equation?
I don't think I can outrun a cow.
If that wasn't the equation where they don't have distance, then yeah, I wouldn't be able to outrun the alligator.
Well, obviously. I'm looking at alligator moving right now. I don't think I can outrun that guy. I'm sorry. I appreciate your faith in me, North Dakota Texter. I don't think I've got it in me anymore. Maybe 10 years ago, Mike. Texter says, Ole Miss will have more fans at the game in Nashville just because people living in Mississippi will use any excuse to get out of the state of Mississippi. Mississippi Slam! Boom! Roasted. Texas alligators can only run fast for a few seconds. Trevor could pole vault his way to safety. No, he couldn't. Trevor also said he could outrun some other ridiculous things. He was like, I can outrun a rhino. I was like, no, you can't. An elephant. I was like, no.
I love the confidence. I love the vision that he has for himself. I love that he think he could do that, but his delusions are misplaced.
It's Trevor's own damn vault.
He couldn't outrun a dead skunk. Like Trevor can't outrun
a dead skunk.
Yeah, he wouldn't get out. He'd have to get out of his chair. Texter says, my wife spent the first couple of months of her life in Denver before her family moved to Louisville, making her believe her sports teams are in Colorado. If that's the case, why was I the one staying up watching the Avalanche get eliminated while she was in bed sawing logs? Also, my Hawk Tua comment from yesterday was only an appreciation for our dear queen. Remember to Hawk Tua those in need. Hashtag Hawk Tua.
So it really was just out of respect.
Just tackling these phenomenons at the height of their popularity. Just these 2 years ago memes.
Yeah, I was about to say.
It's been a while.
She's not in prison.
She's not. She had what, a rug pull?
Yeah, the rug pull from her little meme coin she created.
Kind of been away
she had some little scandal from that.
Texas said, Lazard guy says she's an absolute rocket, but Zendaya can't act.
Exactly.
Way
I
too
don't even
much.
think she's that good looking either.
Texas says Zendaya is so overrated. She's in too many things and way overexposed. Come on, Matt. She's also mid at best. Okay. I mean,
we're talking about a rocket. I'm going to say Sydney Sweeney, but she's not a good actor either. She sucks.
I mean,
anybody from Euphoria, I don't think have any talent in acting.
If you say something like Zendaya is mid at best, I need to see a picture of you.
Exactly. Euphoria's a mid show. Have you heard that? I bet you there's a lot of Euphoria fans where they're talking about Zendaya here.
She's very attractive. She's a beautiful woman. She's not mid at best.
I'd say a 6.
Texas says, I agree with Ian that Zendaya is a trash actress. Anyone who dislikes Mary J. Blige is a racist. Stop.
I agree with this.
No, you can't turn that on me.
I agree with that.
You cannot turn that on me. It's not true at all. Absolutely not true. I don't like Mary J. Blige.
I don't remember who that is. I got to search it up.
Jesus Christ. Little Dumper says, is the intern saying that Zendaya is a DEI hire? Stop. It's always right at 520. Texas, if you want to see someone slowly dying inside, tune into the Mike Rutherford show during Nerd Talk and look at Mike.
No.
It's true.
I just want everybody to remember that Mike the other day willingly watched A New Hope.
No, I watched the first 30 minutes.
And then said that he's actually going to try and watch The Phantom Menace.
I am going to try and watch The Phantom Menace. But first of all, I watched like 10 minutes of The New Hope before my kids got distracted and went and did something else. And then I turned on The Phantom Menace and tried to watch it.
You know what is some good movies? Rocky. No, those are some good movies. The Rocky movies, the boxing ones.
Rocky movies are.
I'm familiar with the Rocky.
I was about to say,
where does that come from? Well, I'm just kind of trying to see why.
Well, we're talking about the 80s, so
they are good movies.
That's my nerdy interest. I love the Rocky movies.
I don't think the Rocky movies are nerd.
Well, New Hope was the 70s,
so is Rocky, actually.
Oh, he said the 80s. I actually didn't know that.
Rocky won Best Picture, I want to say, in 1976.
It was 70. Yeah, I think it was 76 actually. And then the second one went 79, I think, and then it was 80s.
Rocky 76, but won Best Picture in 1977 at the Oscars. Texture says, no. Texas Fire, Josh Hurd. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Thank you for getting the show back on track for where it's supposed to be. Screwtator said, if you tire quickly, Mike, how did you get Mary pregnant? Don't worry about it. Texas Ole Miss, more like Ole Piss, am I right? Gets hooked off stage. The text line just, they know that we're going to go rapid fire on these texts, and they just get in every terrible text that they can possibly get right at the last second. They know what they're doing. Text, can we talk about Elliot Page playing Achilles in the Odyssey? No, we can't. We
really can't.
We're not talking about that. Matt, are you going to actually watch the Odyssey? Since you read 30% of the book?
It's a Christopher Nolan movie. I'll go see anything he makes.
Has it gotten good reviews?
Like Matt Damon on it.
It's not out yet.
Oh, it's not?
No, it comes out like later this year.
We're going to watch Project Hail Mary.
I love that movie. That was a great movie.
Mary read the book. She wanted to see it in theaters. We didn't get a chance to make that happen, but now it's available. I was like, when do you think we're going to get a night to go see?
I watched it in theaters like 2 weeks ago. That was a great movie to watch in theaters, actually. I think it was worth it to watch theaters.
See, don't make it worse for us.
You got to go watch that and then have the Obsession double feature.
I do want to see Obsession. She'll never watch it.
She not a big fan of horror?
No, she can't do it.
That's fair.
Texas Scootator says Rocky won Best Picture. Rocky did win Best Picture.
It did.
In hindsight, I like Rocky. I don't think it's a Best Picture quality movie.
What did you say?
I don't think it is.
It's oh my.
Here's my big problem with Rocky. The boxing scenes are bad. Like they're just like
you are right about it.
They're swinging. They're clearly not connecting. They're just taking wild
that's
swings.
the whole point. You're not supposed to get hit. It's acting.
Who did it go up against?
Another bad part is that definitely Rocky has his hands down at all times.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
What you're never supposed to do that in boxing. But it's still just such a great movie and emotionally. Like I get the feelings every time. I've watched that movie probably 100 times and I still always get the emotions running for that one.
Matt, the 1976 Best Picture finalists were Rocky, Barry Lyndon, which is a Kubrick movie that I've never seen, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which is a fantastic movie, Dog Day Afternoon, which is also a good movie, Jaws, widely regarded as the first blockbuster in American cinema, and Nashville, which I've never seen. Do you feel like Rocky should have won over those movies?
Yes.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
So I'm a Rocky fan, but I'm always going to say yes for this.
Great movie.
We'll say no.
Scootator said, in my defense, I'm only 29. Okay. Lazard guy said, I was going to watch Project Hail Mary, and then Roman and the text line spoiled that everything works out in the end, so don't stress it. I was very upset about that as well. Scootator said also Zendaya is pretty but not attractive. Stop.
She's not a mid-actress.
This is ridiculous. This is
I'm not saying she's top tier.
This is not the way I wanted today's show to go.
People who say she's a mid-actress have literally only ever seen her in Spider-Man. That is it. That's my hot take.
I might be one of those people, but maybe that's true.
So therefore, doesn't matter. You have no opinion.
Ridiculous.
I'll still have an opinion.
All right, we've got some games to pick for tonight. These picks of these Big X Big Bets are brought to you by our guy Chad Hennessy from InsureMax, proudly serving the Louisville area for over 25 years. Call Chad Hennessy at InsureMax today, 502-479-4085. First up, we've got NHL action tonight. Unfortunately, I don't care as much as I used to, but whatever. NHL Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals, the Hurricanes. Thrilling Game 3 victory in overtime. They're still in Montreal looking to take 2-2 inside the Bell Center. 8 o'clock puck drop on TNT. Enter in. Who wins tonight? Hurricanes, Canadians.
I'm going to go Hurricanes. I don't know much about hockey. I don't watch it often, but I'm going to go Hurricanes. You told me a lot of good things about them.
Producer Matt.
I think the Canes have lost every time I picked them, so I'm taking the Canadians.
I got the Canadians even up the series tonight. Hurricanes are favored. Give me the home team. Give the Canadians something to go crazy about.
Are we trying to run some reverse psychology here by picking the Canadians?
I want the Canadians
to win.
I want the Canadians to win.
You want the Canadians?
Yeah. The fan base cares more. Carolina fans, get them out of here. I don't care that one texter said. Canadian fans have been tortured for 33 years at this point. 1993, last time a Canadian team hoisted the cup.
Poor guys.
In the NBA tonight, we've got nothing.
Sadly.
Nothing. But we do have the Cincinnati Reds going for a sweep of the New York Mets. It's Andrew Abbott on the bump for the Reds. 7-10. Nice cough right into the mic. 7-10 on MLB TV.
My bad.
Do they get it done? Ian, who you got?
Let's go Reds.
All right.
Go the Reds. Mets are a terrible team, so let's go Mets.
They are bad.
Mets Reds.
Matt's got the Mets. I think the Mets win tonight, too. They got Brazoban on the hill tonight. He's their best pitcher. We don't win getaway games. We
already got the series. They're resting.
And we're starting. We're starting TJ Friedel. I don't care that he's hitting ninth. We're still starting him tonight. We don't win with him in the lineup. All right, we've got the ticket punches up next from 5:30 to 6. To keep it locked right here. I'm back tomorrow at 2:30. Until then, go Cards.
Go Cards.
Go Beelons.
The Rutherford Show was brought to you by United Mechanical. John Burke's